are people who will disseminate the wrong information, and there are people who want to disseminate the rightful information. So good morning to every one of you guys. Please share my video. This is an open platform where J. Randy come to present issue for your knowledge and understanding, and you decide on it. I do not support any political party directly, but what I do is I present what I believe are facts, good information, resourceful information that will nourish your brain and understanding and give you a clear-cut understanding of what are the mindset of certain Liberians, especially those in the diaspora, what their intent and intentions are for the people of Liberia. Many of those intentions are not good. The people don't rationalize things. They don't look at the risks. They don't associate. They don't analyze the risks to see what impact it have. You know, when people are not living in the neighborhood, they tend not to understand the condition of the people who live in the neighborhood. So that means their decision will have no relevance of empathy because they don't live there. They just want to make the decision. And so I wanted to talk to you guys on a video that Confident D. Where is Confident D? She here this morning. I want to say a big thank you to her for sending me that video. And guys, I want us to understand here, what do we really want for our country? And what do we really want for our country? This is a fundamental question that every one of you guys need to answer honestly. Honestly. All right? Honestly, in the sense that we have a country. We have had election that include presidential, senatorial, representative, and we have another one coming up next year. But guess what? There are people, irrespective of what we have gone through as a country and people, the war we have fought, we have this opportunity. And just next year is election. And here we are. Some people who don't understand, who are now willing to see peace. When you got election next year, they want to bring people together and put them on the street. I don't see anything wrong with that though. But is it the right thing to do? That's the question I want to ask. Despite the fact that you got election coming next year, is that the right thing to do? Is that the right thing to do when you get election coming next year? You are not hearing from the president, the Liberia president. Let me put it in a real Liberia way. The Liberia people president is in America here. If George Weah was not welcome to America because American people don't like what he was doing in Liberia, wouldn't it be a justifiable reason to protest? But the greatest country that practiced the greatest democracy invited the president here. Then why we made Liberia president to say, I don't want to see people protesting. I don't get time. People should not exercise their right. You see, it just goes to show that there are some people in our country, in our midst, that are just evil-minded. They don't want to see peace among the Liberian people. Because they know fully well and they know very well that the very Liberians will not vote for them. They know that. They know that. They know there is an election coming out. They are seeing the crystal ball. They are looking into the crystal ball. And then they're getting up now and say, let's go and protest. Let's look at some of the character of people. Do you see these people who are aligning themselves and say, let's call for protest? Let's look at their history in terms of performance. And these very people participated in the government before? Of course. So what did they do differently that the protest will bring for them? And the thing here is, you keep hearing that, oh, we're doing it on behalf of the Liberian people. You know that guy they call Judy Wisner? Judy Wisner is a complete embarrassment. Let me tell you about Judy Wisner. If you just watch how they call it, Force of Liberia, Judy Wisner was there saying about the Liberian people, Judy Wisner is not stranger to me. Hey, brother, Papi, Yoni CEO, They used to live in Fiamma. Judy Wisner went to Kateria, went to a good school called Kateria. And Judy Wisner graduated from Kateria. And all you want to tell me that everything that his parents did for him is to go and stand after working in the early administration, to go and stand over there and tell people, oh, we are doing it on behalf of the Liberian people. Since when the Liberian people became important to Judy Wisner and the Mr. Cummings? So protest is the only solution for the Liberian people, right? But when had they sat down with the Liberian people before the camera and sitting out there and asking them, what can we do for you? What can we do for you? Have you seen the ANC? Have you seen the CPP carrying on a canvas, a community canvas across the country and asking Liberians? We represent the good moral of the ANC CPP. We are here asking family members, what are the challenges you have? What can we do to help you? Don't you think that is part of understanding the people problem? But you will come on a platform and then say, we represent the people. That's not a total representation. You are speaking on behalf of the people that are not in line with what you say you're trying to do for them. In order for you to represent the people, you must engage the people and ask the people. Journalists have gone on the street several times and asking Liberians, who will you vote for come next election? The people will tell you what their situation is. But I think Mr. Cummings, having gone through this year of what you and I have seen from the press, where most often you will see the press going out there, someone with a cell phone and a camera asking the Liberian people, who will you vote for? It always turning out to be, we are Oboka. We are Oboka. Not necessarily Cummings. You don't hear about Cummings. So Cummings knows very well that he's outnumbered. He knows very well that he's outclassed. He does not have what it takes to be elected. And that is why he's calling for the protest. But let me say this to Liberia. Let the people carry out their protest. All we ask is it should be a peaceful protest. Those that are going out to protest, put your hands in the hands of God. Because if anything should happen to you, and if you ever think Cummings going to take money and carry you to Ghana for treatment, if you ever think they're going to care for you, no, you will be used as the poster child of trying to frame the government. That's what they will do. They will call and say, oh, we were protesting and somebody from the government side did X, Y, and Z. These guys don't give a damn. Same when the Liberian people became an important component. Again, we will sit in America here and see how the Congo people children going to put the native people children in the street and get them fucked up. Yes, and get them fucked up. Y'all ain't tired with the Congo people you see, y'all? They will put their children on the plane and bring them to America and give them good life. But then when it comes to making best decision for you guys, to educate you guys, to say, let's do X, Y, and Z. But I'm glad, I watched this Yanambo representative. Oh, that guy is so sweet. He brought some joy to my heart. You guys need to see that video. I just share it. This Yanambo came and put out a position statement. And in the position statement, he said, we the Yana boys are not in support of what Mr. Louis Brown has included us into, that is the protest. And he was asked a question, and the question was like, aren't you suffering? He said, yes, we are suffering. We are all suffering. But we have an election coming up next year. If we feel that this suffering is not something that we want to continue with, we will vote next year to decide who we want. That boy answer make me so happy. Yes, that boy answer make me so happy. And you think that people will play those things? No, they will not play it, but I will play it all the time on my show. It just goes to tell you that there are many Liberians who are tired, fed up with the protests, and the young man even mentioned that. You see, these guys who are continually pushing for people to go in the street, they got no life for themselves. They got no life for themselves. That's all they know. That's all they know. The whole thing coming is a radical group that coming put together. These are people who work in the government of Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, and they are used of everything. They got no opportunity to open or create any job for themselves before you ever say somebody. So all they know is just a government job. They leave out of the job, they go back in the back of the line, they come back again. And they always coming back with different strategy. These guys are good for nothing people. They never work in any position of authority. If you ask Judy Wisner right now, aside from Ellie helping you to get a job in her government, what have you done? Nothing. If you ask Louis Brown, send your mom bone you, what have you done? Nothing. All they have been doing is just relying on government job, folks. That's all they know. They have been relying on government job. Nothing more, nothing less. That's all they've been up to, government job. So you think they're going to come to give you any better idea? No. Because the way they get into government job is to put people on the street and create instability, hoping that the government will cave in. I'm just calling on ordinary Liberians and those that support the government. Talk to your people continuously. Tell them you guys need to stay off the street. Election is next year. Let the Liberian people get to see who these guys are. Cummings know he's not going to win no election. Louis Brown know that he's not making any sense for Cummings. Judy Wisner know that with all Liberian joy he cannot survive. And right now they are not giving the opportunity because others got to get the opportunity. So what they will do, they will join forces with people who are struggling in our country. That is the government, the ex-government official that got nothing else to do. Nothing else to do. Mind you, they are all like-minded. Yeah, they are all like-minded people. They work in government in the past and they use all their own money they earn. They cannot go to Guinea to work. They cannot go to Cote d'Ivoire to work. The government is the highest employer in the country. And they themselves, they cannot create their own job, least than to help other people work for them. So what do? They will bring themselves together because these are remnants of the Ellen Johnson Sirleaf administration that never believed that there will be one day they will have to look for money to work somewhere else. So what do? They put themselves together. They put themselves together as a team. Remember, they are all losers. They are disaster. They are working government. They have never achieved anything because they got no plan for their lives. Anyone there for 12 years. What did they do? Nothing. So now Ellen left power. Now she's in the country over there. They cannot travel to the United States. They cannot travel to Great Britain. They got nowhere to go. They never have better plan for their life. That's why they join government. Now, when they use all the money, they come right back in the back of the line. And guess who they want to use again? The Liberian people. When they're in position, you don't see them fighting for the Liberian people. When Louis Brown was Minister of Information, how many times did he advocate for the Liberian people? When Judy Wisner was in the government at the National Investment, how many times did he try very hard to say, I'm bringing job opportunity for my fellow Liberians? But he will tell them, for the Liberian people, for the Liberian people, our problem is illiteracy. And the only way, the quick way to fight illiteracy is to use the platform to inform our people. There will be another group that will come again and say for the people. Do you know how many times they have used the people, that phrase for our people? They did it against Samuel Kanyado for our people. Yes. They did it against Taylor for our people. They are now doing it against John Weir for our people. But when you measure how much they have done for the very people they always misusing, it always shows that they have done nothing for the people, but they continue to use the people. But I want you to look at the character of the people themselves who are calling on the Liberian people. These guys got no career, my people. These guys got no career in life. They got no career. The only thing they know is government job. By the time they lose the government job, they sit down for a while. They're looking for another new party to join and to use the Liberian people. They can't go to Boaca. Judy Wesner cannot go to Boaca, who served a 12 years with Ellen. And at the same time, he worked there to say, for our people. Because they already know who he is. Louis Brown cannot go to Unity Party and say, for our people, because they know what they already did. But that guy they call Cummings, that good for nothing individual. Don't let nobody lie to you. Cummings did not do nothing in America here. Cummings was just a mere HR corporate executive that did not do anything in this country here. All right? Cummings did not play a major role in Coca-Cola Liberians. He was just a guy who just sat over there and did nothing good for the people. So don't be fooled. Cummings did not do anything substantial here. Cummings was just a guy who was sent to take care of things. So he did not acquire any good knowledge as far as I'm concerned. That's why you see his understanding today is weak. You live in America here. Some of you guys who work in corporate, like I said, if you want to see a well-seasoned vice president of any corporation, one, you look at the vice president for operation. They deal with people on a daily basis. Yes. They deal with people on a daily basis. Vice president for risk management. They deal with regulation and other things. That's what they do. Cummings with Coca-Cola mean nothing. He's only using that name Coca-Cola to promote himself. But Cummings got no experience. Cummings got no leadership skills. And I will let you guys know, and I will tell the Liberian people, Cummings is not anybody to depend on. He got no idea when it comes to leadership. Cummings got no idea when it comes to governance. He knows nothing. Cummings doesn't have any history of making decisions for people or writing policy. No. Everything Cummings ever did for Coca-Cola was already on a template, and they gave it to him. All he had to do was to go and just give it to people. Cummings got no experience. If you sit before Cummings and communicate with Cummings and look at things from a leadership standpoint, Cummings had never served in any public service role. 99% of Cummings' positions have been in the private sector, and in the private sector, Cummings has done nothing substantial to prove that he got what it takes to be a leader. When you hear Cummings say things, he only cite things. Cummings don't really come up with creativities. When last have you seen Cummings talking about the challenges in the country? There are environmental issues in our country. Cummings cannot articulate any environmental issue. Security issue in the country. Cummings cannot articulate any security issue. Infrastructure in the country. Cummings cannot even articulate any infrastructure issue. Because Cummings does not have what it takes to be a leader. So don't allow Cummings to come be lying to you here. We live in America here. I challenge Cummings to come back in America here. Let's have conversation when it comes to good governance. Good governance. These companies around here will hire anybody to put you in any position. Not to mention him being a black man. All right? Not mentioning him to be a black man. They gave him that position. You think the people don't know Cummings' weakness? That's what they're saying to Africa. Cummings cannot go to Europe to have any control over Europeans that know more than him. They couldn't send him to Asia to sit among the Chinese and Indians to make any decision. They know Cummings could not cope with these guys because they are very smart. They could not even send coming to South America to run Coca-Cola affairs. But they only send it to Africa where they got limited resources and limited capacity. And just to go and take care of things. Have you seen Comey giving you any award that he has won outside of being the VP? No. Comey only talk about, oh, I serve at Coca-Cola. It's just like a football player telling say, yeah, I was on the losing team. Oh. But what did you do? Which game did you play? How many goals did you score? What record, aside from the team that you play on, did you make for yourself? Did you become a valuable player? No. Comey did not get none of those things. All he bragged about is, I work for Coca-Cola. A man who see election coming next year, if a Yana boy, a man who represents a Yana boy can tell the Liberian people, both abroad and back home, that yes, we acknowledge that we're suffering, but we have an election coming up next year. And whatever we are dissatisfied with, we will go to election next year. This guy is a Yana boy, and he making it very clear between the choices he got. Let me go to election and make up my mind. But Comey does not have that brain. Comey is not a smart guy. Comey got a system. You got election coming on next year, and then you say you putting team together. I thought people bring team together to brainstorm. Then you tell people, say, oh, we suffering. So that means that whatever plan Comey's got is fake. All those things he call the 5 wild, the 5 days that I talk about, now I can tell you for a fact that what Comey is doing now, Comey just somebody just put that thing together for Comey, but Comey does not believe in his own vision because he cannot convince anybody. Yes. All right? He cannot convince anybody. Comey cannot how can you have your vision? You say you got 5 wives. You got a 5 how what the problem are and how you going to solve the problem. And in that problem, you got nothing like where you say, oh, we got to go protest. The man continue to contradict himself. All right? Liberian, y'all got to wake up. Y'all got to wake up. Y'all got to wake up. Y'all live in America here. You don't have to be a vice president of your company to understand that Comey is not a leader. You live here because you see you are part of a structure in the country that got you to survive every day. You have to learn every little thing that is being given to you. That way you will build for yourself a foundation that will help you to understand. Comey is not a smart guy at all. Comey is exposing himself bigly. Comey has no leadership skills. Let nobody be fooled by Comey by telling you that, oh, Comey got this. No. A man who believes that he got a vision, he comes out and tell you, oh, I got 5 wild and I got 5 how. And today, with few more months left to go to election, then he come here and telling you, let's go protest in the street. People that got no vision, that got no plan to a problem, that have no solution to a problem, will always result into what? Protest. People create protests. Protests come from government policy. You see, when people protest, they protest on an agenda. But for somebody to tell you, say, oh, the people are suffering. How many people are suffering in the war here today? Right in the United States we live here. The issue of gas prices everywhere across the country and across the world is skyrocketing. The issue of food is also skyrocketing, right? And the list go on and on. There is suffering everywhere. The president of the United States is calling for a summit on food scarcity. Comey not even telling you. You see, to show that Comey is not smart. The whole COVID thing that started in 2019 and exploded in 2020. It has set back so many things. Because prior to COVID, there were a lot of inventory of stuff. But when the war got shut down in 2020, people started using out every inventory. Most companies have a large volume of inventory. And every day you and I go to work, where you work, especially in the process industry, you are putting things into inventory. But people continue to use the remaining inventory until during the beginning of 2021, most of the inventories and still in stock started to lose the volume. It started to go down. So they had to bring people back. All right? All right. I see some of the Congo people children here. And you know, when I say anything, let me tell you one thing. All the Congo people that came in the country here, they're trying to learn anything here. I'm telling you guys. Most of the Congo people children that came in this country, they were only living on their parents' name. And I want them here. So we got to let him go. All right? We got to let him go. The Congo people are not smart people. Just how the white man will tell you some black people not smart. Just how the black man will tell you some white people not smart. Most of the Congo people children, they're not smart around here. They're very, very angry with people. We know them. And you know, we know them. I told you the last time I interacted with most of them. They are not smart people. All right? They are not smart people, and we figure them out every time. They don't debate the issue. They insult you, and will not take them here. That privilege they had in the past, it is being exposed now. There's nothing wrong with you saying the Congo people children. In America here, they can tell you the African American, they can tell you the white, they can tell you the Asian. So there's nothing wrong with you telling people say the Congo people children. There's absolutely nothing. There is no crime in the book. There is no universal crime that say a Congo man. If that is the case, then that African American, when somebody call you an African American and try to classify you, whether it's disease, performance. So the Congo people children and the native people children, because they created our words, right? Yes, back in the days, they said we got the Congo and we got the native, right? So we all found ourselves. The same white man came and said the African American and the white. They classify us. So let's stick to that, because that will give us a unique way to classify us. Most of the Congo people children in this country, they are not smart people. They came and only live on their parents' name, and they got that opportunity and came here. So they are not smart people. Yes, they are not smart people at all. So what they will do, the little money they give them, they believe that they can use that money as an economic power to get and step over the illiterate minds of the native people children. That's what they do. So they protect themselves. So some of us who are descendants of the native people, when we come here and start to speak things on context and content, they don't like us, because they know that we are very smart. When we came to this country, we got our lesson down. We got our lesson down. And when we speaking the truth, they know who we are. And that is what I'm doing here today. Cummings got no governmental experience. Cummings is not a linear learner. The man is completely dull. Cummings is completely dull. A man who said he served as vice president. Have you seen Cummings writing any book? Which one of the intellectual platform, for example, the TED Talk, where you have executive going to have conversation, do you see Cummings floating around there? Let Cummings tell you when he go to the stakeholder meeting. What Cummings say? Cummings doesn't say nothing in stakeholder meeting. Just last month we invited our stakeholder at our facility. Because of our performance, we brought in our stakeholders. And our company is one of the biggest pharmaceutical companies. I am very grateful to God. I may not have all the riches in my pocket, but God is giving me the knowledge to see things and be able to come here and draw a comprehensive conclusion. Yes, I'm very, very grateful to God. All right, I may not be on a stake board. I may not be a stakeholder, but what I saw these people doing, yes, those guys are very, very intellectual. I saw Indians, Chinese, Americans, these people with the conversation they had, I was so impressed. And these guys were stakeholders, millionaires that came to attend that stakeholder meetings. And we took them on a tour. I had an opportunity to talk to them. And for the CEO of the company, we always meeting each other all the time. and I saw what they discussed. And I see it. We sat down the round table. It's just that in some of the high-level meetings, you are not allowed to take pictures. You are not allowed to take pictures because of company policy. But when you look at Cummings, the way Cummings behave out here, make no mistake, Liberians. Some of you guys may not have that opportunity, but Cummings is nobody. Cummings is nobody. He only investing the little money they gave him. He's sharing the money as part of the stakeholder where he benefits because all the stakeholders pump their money in the company, and as the profit grow, he get it. That's all he got. But as far as Cummings becoming anything, his chances will be very slim. So he understands nothing about leadership. He got no strategy skills. He got no leadership skill. He got no problem solving skill. So what does he do? He go back to people who are served in government, and the least bunch of people that got nothing in their head. Those are the people, the greatest hustler in the country. Those are the people that Cummings bringing. You think Cummings is anybody that is smart? You might want to think again. Cummings does not have what it takes. I am telling you because I live in America here. I interact with people. You live here, you interact. But many of you guys, some of you guys know who Cummings is. But because some of you guys just don't want to come out to say it because of you guys being social shy or camera shy, we are here to tell you. Cummings got no idea. I interacted with Cummings. I'm not giving you facts based on assumption. You saw the photo I posted over there. You saw Cummings and myself. I have interacted with Cummings. I know Cummings got no sense of direction. Nothing. Nothing Cummings got in your head. He's absolutely blank. Yes, he's absolutely blank. Cummings is completely blank. The only thing Cummings will tell you, good morning. We can't keep doing the same thing. If you look at Cummings making somebody a statement and you see how he behaves, it creates a complete independent contradiction between what Cummings says and how Cummings behave and act. For example, Cummings will tell you, say, we can't keep doing the same thing over and over. But when you try to deep dive into what he means that we can't keep doing the same thing over and over, and you look at the challenges in our country and those who play a major role in our country as it relates to creating instability in the country. And then when you look at Cummings bringing those very people back, don't that bring a question to your mind to ask yourself, does Cummings really understand what he says, or he just talking and not paying attention to what he say? Those are the two conclusions you need to ask yourself. We cannot keep doing the same thing over and over. Now, when you look at guys like Louis Brown, who served as security advisor to Taylor, created the greatest mayhem in our country that destroyed lives and property. And when you look at Cummings saying to you, we can't keep doing the same thing over and over and expect different results. What does that tell you about Cummings? What does that tell you about Cummings' sense of understanding? What does that tell you about Cummings' sense of understanding? If you don't tell me that Cummings is a dull man that only talk but doesn't understand what he talk about, any other answer from you will be a secondary answer, and there is a likelihood that it will be wrong. You see, the greatest and most recent scientist of the 19th century, Albert Einstein, that they named after some of the medical institution. Albert Einstein, who created relativity, the speed between light and sound. Those of you that study physics, Albert Einstein is the one who came up with that saying that you can't keep doing the same thing over and over and expect different results. Now you know who Albert Einstein is today, what he has done. And then you get Cummings came and stole the man's phrase. The first time he ever said it, He never referenced this man. All right? He never referenced the man. When you went to school, they always told you, when you creating any kind of research report, whether it is footnote, there are different authors that say you should learn to quote people phrases that you don't own. Coming came to Liberia and said we can't keep doing the same thing over and over and expect different result. Instead of him saying, according to the great Albert Einstein, he said we can't keep doing the same thing over and over and expect different result. I believe in what Einstein said, and that is why I'm trying to use that and with caution on what I see in Liberia. Coming did not do that. He just took that man phrase and tried to utilize it. Well, let's get the benefit of the doubt that he's not a smart guy. And he's a very deficient individual that has no knowledge and of understanding anything. Yes, nothing. But let's look at the applicability of what he said. All right? The applicability of what he said about we can't keep doing the same thing over and over. And then look at it from an individual and apply individual behavior. Let's put Louis Brown in the center of what Cummings said, we can't keep doing the same thing over and over. Now, who is Louis Brown? Louis Brown is somebody who worked with Charles Taylor and created mayhem in the country, where many people died and people lost their property. Now, Cummings said we can't keep doing the same thing over and over. Do we do what Louis Brown and Taylor did to our people? No. All right. Let's give Cummings the benefit of the doubt and give Louis Brown the benefit of the doubt. He brought them in as a team. Now, what you think Louis Brown should be doing differently than what he didn't do? Well, as team member of Cummings, he should be able to push the agenda of Mr. Cummings. He should be able to call him for a rally where they will bring people together and begin to explain about Cummings' vision. Now that I said it, they're going to go steal it over because Cummings is a good-for-nothing guy. A very dull man. Dull man. All right? You will imagine that what they will go do for the rally. No. But they ain't doing it. They say the people are suffering. Now, let's look at the nature and content of suffering in the country. It said the administration that only brought about suffering in the country. Why you think Tower was overthrown? Why you think Samuel Kennedy was killed? It's because we have bad leadership that disenfranchised an entire population of our country. Now, today we all went to war, we came back. What did Ellen do as far as sovereign go? What data do we have that show that 2/3 of Liberians were enjoying compared to the data before the 1980 and during the Samuel Kennedy era? And how do we compare that suffering to today under George Weah? But we do know that suffering is still variable, right? But suffering from different region to another will show a bar chart of who got the highest suffering and who got the lowest suffering. They are not presenting the data to you people. But all they think, oh, we for the people, we for the people, we for the people. That's what they're doing to you guys. These Congo children settled in the country here. They don't give a damn. They're not sending their children back home to go and protest. But they want to take the additional children to do the daily work for them. And that's why we are trying to educate them now. You guys have been disenchanted so many times. From the day of the beginning of our country. The reason we have many Liberians across the 15 counties, most especially the counties that are away from Masorado County. The reason we have many people that are not educated is because the system that were put in place by the Congo people did not create an opportunity for people to learn. They did not put in place policy that will allow every Liberian, both the Congo people children and the indigenous people children, to have an equal level of education in the country. They never did that. And what do we have today after all these years? Whether it is 200 years, whether it is 175 years, what do we have? We have a large portion of disproportional Liberians across the 15 counties that are mainly native people that are in their 60s, 70s, some of them in their 40s that are uneducated. Why? Because when the Congo people were in power, they decided not to put in place policy that will create equal and fair education for every Liberian. Because they wanted to have the consistent example. All right? I don't believe in tribe, my friend. I'm only trying to tell you here. All right, Joe. Joe, you in America here, they will tell you about African American, Joe. All right? All right, Joe. Joe, you in America here, they will tell you about African American, right? But they're not asking you for your race. In America here, people will tell you about African American. People will tell you about Indian American. People will tell you about white, European white. It is from that background I'm speaking. All right? If you want to know my tribe, I don't have no tribe. I was born in UK and I hail from River G. I don't speak my tribe. The family that I live with were never allowed to speak tribe. But what I'm alluding to is nothing but statistics as it relates to our population that include both the native people and the Congo people. And the lack of equity, equality, and providing the transparency between the two. There are more Congo people children that got opportunity from the time the two party came to power. And that consistent and continual opportunity have been given to them. Many additional Liberians had the opportunity when the war came, where there was a massive migration through the United Nations, IMO, and the United States Immigration and other countries around the world who were partners to Liberia that helped to integrate and resettle many additional Liberians. It is from that background I'm speaking from. Because it is from that background that many Liberians today back home do not have that opportunity. We have to be able to teach their history. And that's why Jay Randy as an engineer have put down his engineering skills and coming into the social and economic, political arena to discuss these things. All right? So it's not about tribe. It's about understanding why we are the way we are today. That's what I'm trying to bring here. All right? So just take that as a lesson learned for you. So what the Congo people children are doing, they are doing exactly what their parents then did in the past. They did the same thing to Samuel Kenyon do. Though took office, they did not give Doe the opportunity to serve his people under his democratic term. They did not do that. Ellen took power for 12 years because Ellen is somebody that they were satisfied with. There was no issue of saying, oh, next year election coming, people are suffering in the country. They were never, even though CDC protested, the inequality in there is the Congo people children did not take side with CDC protest. Right? When CDC were in opposition protesting against Ellen, the Congo people children did not take side with CDC. You never saw Alexander coming saying, yeah, the people are suffering. You never heard Louis Brown acknowledging the people are suffering. But there was suffering in the country at that time. Right? Yes, Ellen did not eliminate suffering. Suffering was not suspended during Ellen time. There were things, there were hardship. Ellen got a video where when she was leaving, in her last statement, she said there will be hard time coming in this country. Maybe I will try to play that this evening. All right? Ellen made a speech. The last speech that Ellen made. Y'all get ready. Y'all tie your belt. Suffering will be coming. That was Ellen's legacy that she was leaving with y'all. That suffering will be coming to the country. And what added to the suffering? It is the global pandemic that came called COVID. COVID came and stole everything. Some of you guys that got cars today, you will hear the car dealer will tell you, say, oh, we don't have the parts because the COVID affected these things. And that COVID impact is something that happened universally. It affected everybody. So it created a big a wave of suffering. But we can use it, but we should use it comprehensively. We cannot put it in the hands of people like Louis Brown, people like Judy Wisner, who serve in government, and know what it means But because they're not working, they don't have 2 cents, they don't have $2 in their pocket. Now they come here and calling on the Liberian people. These guys are good for nothing. But the bigger blame will be put on Mr. Cummings. A man who said we can't keep doing the same thing over and over, but he's coming and bringing the same people who did not even help the people to begin with. Those are the people he's bringing. It just goes to show that Cummings is not the change. Cummings does not have what it takes to be a leader. Cummings is a very weak and incompetent guy. Make no mistake. Cummings people say no, that Cummings doesn't have strategy. I interacted with Cummings before. I sat with Cummings in April of this year on a Zoom call. And there were questions I asked Cummings. Do you have what it takes to be a president in this country? Cummings said, no. That's why I need your help. Do you have policy that understand the challenges in this country? And how are you planning to solve it? Cummings said, no. And he responded to me and said, that's why I need you on my policy team. Go ask Cummings. Go ask Cummings. I'm not the one that told him that I wanted to be on a policy team. He put me on a policy team. He asked me to be on a policy team. Because Cummings got no idea about writing policy. Cummings know that I came from a church environment. Acknowledge the fact that I was too good to be in a job we are administration. Because of the knowledge that God had given me and that I had acquired over here. They acknowledge that the video clips are all out there. My point here is, I'm telling you that Cummings is not a good leader. Cummings does not have what it takes to be anything. He does not have what it takes to be anything. He doesn't have what it takes. Cummings is not a smart guy at all. But he wants to be president, but he doesn't have the tools, the skills, the mechanics, the faces, the chemistry to be a leader. And that's why he keep bringing the same people violating his own saying that we cannot keep doing the same thing over and over and expect different results. Cummings is not a smart man at all. The man is not smart. The man is not smart. When I met Cummings in Florida, we have a conversation. We strike conversation on the different sector in the country. And the way he answered the question, it gave me the sense that this man need help. But the people around him, because they are all job seekers, they were always black people who are very measured in their school of thought. And that's the people today that are supporting protests. You don't think other people are supposed to stand to challenge Louis Brown? Why you think they push some of us away? Louis Brown, who supported Charles Taylor. Louis Brown, who supported Ellen Johnson Sirleaf. They wholeheartedly embraced Louis Brown. Then some of us who became neutral in our political crusade to inform the Liberian people. Some of us who came and said, Cummings, you got 2 districts, District 11 and District 17. They want your presence. Isn't that a due process of democracy to convince people to win? Didn't you guys hear me making that announcement here on the radio several times, asking Cummings to visit? It was all about convincing the people, right? But guess what? They rejected that political process of convincing people. But what are they resorting to now? Putting people on the street as their solution. So you see, I can stand here, I can sit here and give you so many examples about Cummings' incompetence. Cummings rather bring in radical people because he feel that radical people can solve the problem. He said that when he was in Baltimore. He said, we bring people on who relate to other people. You see, you got to be able to take your time to understand the political leaders. Go back to Cummings' visit in Baltimore. He said in that conversation with the people, we will not campaign in area that people will feel that they will not vote for us. That was a problem. Because he clearly stated you guys that those that will not vote for me when I become president, you're on your own. He also mentioned in that same conversation that will bring people who are in opposition that people don't like We're bringing them in because they know how to relate to certain people. So today when you see Louis Brown putting people in the street, because Comey know that Louis Brown will do the same thing over and over, and there are people that will follow him because they love to do the same thing over and over. But that is the man who said we cannot keep doing the same thing over and over and expect different results. That is the same man, right? So you see, when you carry on a critical analysis, this emphasis on the human character, you will define and get to see who Comey is and see who Comey is. And that is what I'm trying to bring to you guys here. Comey said it will bring people that relate to other people. While it is true that we're up to our interpretation, the reality here now is we are seeing what Comey is made out of now. We are seeing it now. That when he tells you that, oh, we'll bring people who relate to other people. So Louis Brown then relating to people who are very radical. The man doesn't have anything to take. Starting this week, Friday, to next week, Comey then going to have their gathering in California, specifically Sacramento. They're going to gather there with all the Congo people cheering them. They're going to give him money. They're going to be having a good time. They're going to be dancing, enjoying. If they can be taking money and giving to Comey, and Comey say people suffering, but he not suffering. So then why is he asking for money around here? And he say he not suffering. And what is he doing with the money? All the money that people donate to Comey. When Lai had Comey provided a financial report to show to Liberians that all the money are collecting abroad. And those who think that the people are giving Comey money, if Comey ever become president in a dream, you think the people are giving Comey money in America here? You think they will say that yet? Your native people children there, you got to wake up your mind. You guys are physically alive, but your minds are still dead. All these people that are giving Comey money, they are hoping that when Comey become president in a dream, that they will be able to get job. The Louis Brown you see passing around here, you think they're just talking for nothing? They all looking for a job. So you guys are in the street passing around, you guys are setting your own suffering up. You are putting your future at risk. You need to make a decision for your future at the ballot box, not on the street where somebody go. Comey left this country called Liberia and came to America here. An entire useful life. When Comey was in the age that some of you guys are in today, did you ever see Comey coming to you guys and saying anything about letting you guys know? There is no video about Comey in America here. And show in Liberia organization. Let Comey show you one video. Comey felt that he was so better than Liberians. When I met Comey in Florida, Comey told me, he said, Jay Randy, I had to learn how to be among you people now. And I was like, what do you mean? Comey said, all my life in this country, I never associated myself with Liberians. My wife can attest to that. And some of the things when he said it, I didn't even open my mouth. Because I do more lessons. I was like, ah. So is that why? He said, yes. That's why this time I tried to dress like them. And I said, everything will be okay. Everything will be okay. I mean, you are very honest. But his honesty is telling you that he's a very desperate man now. But that's who he is. This man never associated himself with Liberians. And you saw it during the time he was in Nigeria. He was in Nigeria again and told you guys that he did not visit nobody on the refugee camp. And right now, when you ask Comey about his children, when are you bringing your children to Liberia for the Liberian people to see your children? He tells you, he said, never. Never. Even your own wife will not come out to tell you, say, I will bring my children so that the Liberian people can get to see them. So the man is on a mission to only benefit himself. Coming doesn't care for the Liberian people. He only taking advantage. It is one thing to understand the people problem. It's another thing to take advantage of the people problem. Coming is taking advantage of the people problem rather than solving the people problem. How can a politician who knowing very well that next year is election, what you should be doing this year? Convincing the people. Convincing the people. Convincing the people. I will be honest with Cummings. Cummings campaign he ran in 2017, it was an honest campaign he ran. He ran that campaign from the bottom of his heart. But after staying away for all the years, where he has shown his true color now to Joseph Boakai and opposition parties, Cummings now is showing his true color now to the people of Liberia. That he is nothing but an opportunist. He's nothing but a parasite. And he's nothing but a very incompetent individual who only brag on the name of Coca-Cola but learn nothing from here. Absolutely nothing, because he was just a mere HR corporate executive. Nothing coming learn as far as I'm concerned. Nothing. And to prove that, he is not even able to put a team together to articulate his own vision. So what is he resulting to? Bringing the same bad behavior, the same bad people, they're good for nothing loser and disastrous individuals, and bringing them into his government and saying that this is my think tank. You say you want to create a think tank. You really got a bad behavior. Then you say you got a good tank? Wow. Cummings is demonstrating his highest level of incompetence right now. Yes, that's what Cummings is demonstrating right now. The highest level of incompetence is what Cummings is demonstrating right now, fellow Liberians. And there's no doubt in my mind that Cummings was just in that position in America because of his race. Cummings was not really a clever guy that sat over there. And I can guarantee you that Cummings did not make an absolute decision of his own. There were always somebody watching over Cummings. And that's what Cummings is demonstrating here today. Cummings is showing to you that he does not know how to settle a crisis. Cummings is demonstrating to you that he does not know how to put in place strategy to solve problems. Cummings is showing to you that he cannot find the best out of the rest, but he will find the worst out of the bad. That's who Cummings is. A very incompetent individual. Very, very incompetent individual. And let nobody make mistake. I know Cummings. I interact with Cummings. I know who he is. Cummings has sent me a lot of text messages, and the way he writes, the idea he articulates, the discussion we have on political and other issues, Cummings is nothing but a zero individual. Zero individual with absolutely no political experience, nothing experience at all. Nothing. 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 And he and his people here, they are nothing. I interacted with them. I'm telling you guys. I interacted with Cummings people. They called me several times and said, look, we know you don't support Cummings anymore. But are you thinking about staying on the policy team? Because they don't have the logic. They don't have the understanding. They don't have it. The issue that happened in Kenya about that whole contamination business, they could not even write a single statement. I have to put it together and give it to them. But rather they should have paid me for that. I'm telling you about the people's strength. I'm telling you about Cummings' weakness. When I see what Cummings is doing, that gave me the right to tell you that Cummings is not a good leader. Cummings is weak. Cummings is weak. He got no leadership skills. Make no mistake. Let him go back and go sell the Coca-Cola. But I can guarantee you, if Comey come back in the workforce here, because people can come out of retirement, Comey will never see that vice president seat again. I can guarantee you, there's nowhere Comey can apply right now in America here and become a vice president. I challenge Comey to put me to test. I challenge Comey to put me to test. Let Comey just try and say, Jay Randy, what you say, I will prove you wrong. I'm going to apply to any company for vice president position. He will never get it. Because the days that Comey had that opportunity is over now. He cannot get that position anymore. Comey cannot get that position anymore. He cannot. Comey cannot get that position anymore in this country here. I challenge Mr. Let Comey go try it. Let Comey go and try it. He will not get that position. He was only lucky to get that position. But now, Comey cannot try it. Because the people are already seeing how incompetent he is. Comey was nothing but a mistake that Coca-Cola made to get him over there. He's out there bringing in people that destroy business ambition and business objective. People like Louis Brown who created stalemate in the operation of Firestone, the operation of Coca-Cola. And you call yourself Cummings, who is a businessman, that looking at protests, you Cummings should say no. There are businesses in this country here, Louis Brown, and I am coming from a business background. That is a taboo for me. I want you to tell me, Louis Brown, what can we do to convince the Liberian people? Is that all you got? This is how a sound-minded business person would think. All right? This is how a sound-minded person would think. But Cummings doesn't understand those things. And it is based on those things that I'm trying to evaluate Cummings right now. And I'm telling you that Cummings work for them. Cummings does not work for them. I challenge Cummings to come back to the America here to apply for another executive position. He will not get it. He will not get it. He will not get it. But he in that country want to cause problems. He cannot even put a team together. Instead of you teaching the people what Cummings is made out of. What juice they come and bring from the United States to convince Liberians. But instead you giving them the same old stuff that they have seen so many times. Then you say we can't keep doing the same thing over and over. Cummings now work for them. Cummings doesn't work for them. Yes, Cummings doesn't work for them. I'm telling you right now. He work for them. You come from America and you taking men like Louis Brown. What kind of man will play professional football and go back to Liberia and go bring men like Bocha there, Joe Weir there and say, oh, let's put you together. You in the 21st century that Joe Weir then you go bring? No. You're supposed to go bring the brand new young Liberians and put them together. You call yourself a former Coca-Cola executive. You come to the country. You got young and talented Liberians in the country over there. Instead of you putting together a crack team that will bring young faces together and people say, damn it. Man, Jay Randy, you got another put in there. Coming brought young people there that really making sense. And then when someone else sit down and look at them and say, damn it. Well, we got a long way to go in the game here. This is a political game. But guess who you going to bring? Men like Louis Brown there. Men like Judy Wisner there. These good for nothing individual there that had their opportunity in government and up to now and did nothing substantial. That's the people you say you bringing. Then you say you call them Tin Ten. Coming, you fucked up. Coming, you are a disgrace to every Liberian that work in corporate. You're coming. You fucked up, Cummings. You fucked up. You fucked up, Cummings. You are fucked up. You are a zero man, Cummings. You are a zero man. Let nobody take Cummings serious. I'm telling you guys. Nobody should take Cummings serious. He work for them. Yes, Cummings don't work for them. I'm telling you guys right now. Nothing. Back in the days, we used to call people like that borehole man. Cummings is a borehole man. During our day when we were young in Liberia on 12th Street, when you work for them, we call you a borehole man. I don't know the slang you got this time. But when we were back home, when you win war for them, we can't call you unFC man. We call you a borehole man. Yes. Coming is nothing but a borehole man. Let me tell you right now. Yes. You come from America like Louis Brandon, you go put on your team and you say you got thing comings. No wonder why. That's why I say you will never come to Coca-Cola here to get any job here again, comings. You will never come to Coca-Cola here. The 7%, he's not even improving on that 7%. That shows you how dull he is. You got 7% in the last league. You should be looking at that 7% and say, look, we need to increase that 7%. And how do we increase it? That will be rarely to take on this game. You cannot even defeat Joe Weah on a political platform of issue, but to go put somebody in the street. Damn it, come in, make me shame. Come in, make me shame. You cannot even defeat Joe Weah on strategy. Then you say you call yourself corporate secretary. You fucked up. The guy cannot even strategize anything. You say you got all the Congo people trying to know all the book around here. You cannot even come up with a strategy to convince the Liberian people, but to go put them on the street. I thought that people who are not well schooled can put people on the street. That you say on the TV show we are? Oh man. These Congo people trying, they are complete embarrassment to our country. But it's good that some of us came here now. We understand. We know who they are now. The Congo people children got no strategy. They only believe in radicalizing the ignorant people in the country. And all we need to do from our end here, one, expose their weakness, discuss their incompetence, expose their plan, and then we pass the information on to our people, letting them know that their future comes first, letting them know that there is an election coming next year. Let them go to the ballot box and be able to tell the Liberian people, all right? And be able to tell the Liberian people what it is, the best thing to do. Somebody comments, you are blessed. Mr. Cummings' blessing is a curse to his own intellect, Joseph we say. A man who got a blessing but not using it for a good purpose is a curse. Not all blessings are created in the eyes of God. God gave everyone on the face of the planet a gift. We are all born with gift, but you got to understand your domain, because your domain control your gift. Cummings is blessed just like you and myself, but he doesn't have the domain that control his gift. Mr. Wisse, you are dealing with J. Randy at the highest level of his intelligence right now. Don't even try me right now, oh man, because Cummings is nothing but a piece of rare right now as I'm discussing Cummings right now. So don't talk about Cummings is blessed here. Not all blessing. You see, when people get their blessing, they use it for the right reason. That blessing become a gift that control, that a domain that control the gift. Cummings doesn't have that. You got election coming up next year, and Cummings cannot even convince you, Wisse. How much information Cummings has given you? Who can you stand before in Liberia and convince, rather than putting people in the street? Instead of you tapping into the people emotional decision, you tapping into the people aggressive decision to put them in the street. Which one is the best way? Taking the soft approach or taking the violent approach? Cummings believe that violence will solve the problem. And we are telling the Liberian people that violence is not the way. Because why? We have tried violence so many times. How many times have we not protested in this country? The only reason that many of the younger generation don't understand what I'm telling you today is because we don't keep track of every activities in this country. But thank God for Facebook. Because in the next 30 years to come, if anyone from the Congo people children again that want to come back in the year 2045 and want to protest, we have all the videos now, and we start to show it to the native people children and say, you see, this is what they've been doing in the past. And that alone will stop those things. All right? That alone will stop those things. But Cummings is nothing. Cummings is nothing. I don't see Cummings as anything. Living in America here, interacting with CEO, interacting with executives. I even told Cummings the last time I said, Cummings, I met my CEO of my company. He like, look at you. I said, yes. And, and I met many of them. I have been very lucky to meet these guys. And, I've been very lucky. Everyone got their blessing that God gave them, but you got to control your gift. I mean, your domain, because your domain control your gift. Comey doesn't have what it takes. And that's why I'm challenging Comey now. Comey cannot come back to the country out of retirement. No, we don't want AFL here. No. Or McQueen, please don't do that. McQueen, I will encourage you to disengage from seeing AFL waiting for them. No. Let the people go out there and expose their ignorance. Let them go out there and expose their incompetence to convince the people. I want them to protest. Let them do the protest peacefully, because there will be people who will be conducting their business. Let them go do what they want to do. Seditions, meaningful Liberians, stay away from that area. Let them do their protest. Let it be among themselves, so that the world can see that Mr. Weir is nothing but an individual that have been really disenchanted in terms of leadership for many, many years. Give them the opportunity. Let Louis Brown go protest. People will be asking Louis Brown, you know, you're going to capture Louis Brown protesting, because what will happen come next year election, we will ask Louis Brown, you are with Taylor, right? Do you have any video of Liberian protesting? Yeah, you right here, Louis Brown protesting here, right here, right? Yeah, you hear Louis Brown protesting here. So do us a favor. When you serve as security advisor to Taylor, do you have a video where Liberians were protesting like the way you're protesting on the Georgia administration? That's how you catch the good for nothing guys. So seditions, Liberians, y'all need to just tell your fellow Liberians to stay away from them and let them go and do their protests. It is part of the package of democracy. You see, they're telling you that they must put the people children in the street, right? But when you ask them where they're bringing their children from America or Europe to protest, they tell you our children better. We're not going to put our children in the street. So let them go and put the people children on the street and themselves, and let's capture that video. Because at the end of the day, we will ask them, every one of you guys that were protesting here, where you guys children are, when you say you're in the people interest, how come your children are coming here? That's where you will grab them. The president want them to be, all right? Somebody say, I thought you were ANC supporter. That's a very good question. But you know what Mr. Todd did? Mr. Todd did not read through the thing. That's why. You see, Joe Arturo, your incompetence to understand people, your incompetence to follow people. You don't know who I am. You don't follow me. Everyone that follow me here, I can tell. Everyone that follow me here, you are on the show here today, Joe, because your good for nothing spoon is now on. Or your Costa is now on. So you having the time now to come and sit down here. I thought you were there. I thought you were there. Let me ask you the question here. I thought you were running behind one other girl the last time. How can you and the girl not married today? What are you going to tell me? I thought your papi was chasing behind the other girl. Did that girl become your mother today? No. Right? I thought your mom was chasing behind another guy. Is that guy your father today? No. So when you're asking the question, I thought it gave me a sense that you don't follow things. You see all the people that are among you here, did you see them asking me questions? I thought, no, because I gave reason. All right? I gave reason. So you see, some of you guys are not smart. Some of you guys are thinking like commies. Some of you guys are two-tailed of a human being in your own thinking. So I will not help you guys here, right? All right? So when you guys come here, I know how to address you guys. Because you see, a child in this country here will tell you, say, you know what? I like this. I don't like this. All right? They call it diversifying. When you diversify, you lose things. Not because I supported commies. It means that I should stay with commies. There are things that we do in law called guiding principle. So now when you're watching the game, the World Cup game is on right now. The ref will be blowing the fire against another team. But does that mean that when the other team that he blowing the fire, if blow, you don't have the basic logic? Because the Congo people fuck that country up. They never put in place structure. in terms of education, how to build our skills, logical skill, problem solving skill, from elementary school to high school to junior high to college. So some of you guys are not used to this thing. You just got on a plane during the 1990 war day. You just came to Liberia here, and I mean America here, and nothing you learn here. The first job they gave you, you just got complacent with the job. People diversify. People can change coaches. Coaches can leave team. Some people can say, I'm not supporting Manchester United. Some watch the World Cup. People change their team, but in some of you guys' little mind, you don't understand. And that is where the Congo people children continue to use you. And that one, when I gave you example, like I said, the first girl your father met, is that person your mom today? There is a highly likely chance that that person is not your mom, because the relationship did not build. The first person your mom met, is that person, that guy, is he your father today? No. Are you going to ask them, but man, I thought you were dating that man. Why you not boring by that man? You fucked up. You fucked up. And what I'm saying here.
Are you going with me?
Yeah, get in the car.
Okay, are you going to close the garage?
All right, hold on. Guys, I gotta go. The first lady here, so I see you. I gotta go. We'll talk another time. The first lady here now. All right, I gotta do my job. I see you guys. All right, you take care. J Rennie is out of here. When the first lady show up, you gotta pay like the boss. Oh, like the boss. One the first. So on the phone driving now, guys. I got to go. I see you guys again today. I see you guys. Bye bye. Yes, tonight is the night. We're gonna reaction to the Supreme Court decision. That's what we are here for tonight. We're gonna be here. Patricia Peters, how are you? Good. Wow, everybody coming in. Douglas, Richard, where you watching from? How are you? Mana, how you guys doing? Douglas, we are here. It's a program that's also about Liberia politics. Says Zanzi is watching from where? Sidiki White. Hey, my brother Sidiki White, how you doing? This is your cousin Suleiman on Staten Island. How are you? Welcome to the show. It's all about Anthony Jones and all of that. It's all about Liberia politics. I'm having a guest here tonight. We'll be discussing the response to the Supreme Court decision tonight. Anthony Jones, how you doing? Please let me know where you're watching from. Mama Fule, hey, Mama Fule, how you doing? You at work? You at the work? You work at the airport? Are you there already? Okay, tonight we are going to discuss about the the response to the from the Supreme Court to Brumskin. That's what we are here for. So my man will be coming soon. Let me just hang out with you guys. You want to hang out with me for a minute? He will be here. He's an analyst, political analyst, and also environmental analyst. So he's going to be here. Jackson R. Kenny, how you doing? Long time, big brother. Yeah, we're still around. We're around. Thank God. To you, Harris. Hey, T, what's up? We'll be discussing about the to react to that response. That's what we are here for tonight. So be patient with us. Just a minute, and my brother will be here to respond, to react to that. Peace, Tunis, yeah. Anthony and June, hey, Miss, what's up, bro? Just hang out for a minute. My brother gonna be here. He's gonna be here soon. Then we will. And Dapper, don't worry. We'll soon start the ball rolling. Soon start the ball rolling.
Okay, if you guys, you're listening, Dapo. Okay. He'll be going to be here soon. Irene, hey, what's up, Irene? I know where you're watching from. Emmanuel Kessley. Where you watching? Let me know how you guys will watch it. You're welcome to the show. Tonight's show is all about the Supreme Court in Liberia responded to Brumskin. And we're going to react to that response. If you want to take part in it, you can, but just a minute. We'll be here and the discussion will begin because I have an expert who know how to at least go into the mind of the politician, into their head, and bring us what they mean about what they say. Supreme Court today, their ruling was for Brumskin to go back to NEC, which is National Election Commission, and listen so they can give him a, then he can proceed back to Supreme Court. That's what we're going to be discussing here. So I wish my brother can hurry up to come over because I'm on now. I'm waiting for him, but I hardly can see him. Are you going to come or not? Walter John Weir, James Weir, what's up, man? How you doing? Okay, we are here discussing about Liberia politics. They put a halt to the elections. They ran up election which was supposed to be tomorrow, but it's being time indefinite right now. Okay, he's here. My brother is here. Okay, I'm going to send him the invite. Hey, Dapo, we are waiting for you. We want the ball to be rolling. We are here only for 45 minutes. So we are not going more than 45 minutes. The program is only 45, the most 1 hour. So sit tight and just listen. It's all about Liberian politics. We are going to discuss about the decision the Supreme Court rendered today. So that's what they be happy. Everything will be cool. We are here only for 45 minutes, not more than 45, at least probably 1 hour. So if you want to hang around, my expert is coming. My guest will be here soon. I'm trying to invite him to join me. Duke, what's up, Duke? Okay, Elijah King Lee. Hey, my camera brother, how you doing? I'm waiting for my man to enter so that we can discuss Liberian politics. And you guys are welcome. You may, if you are, you tell us about whatever. Okay, at least you can see him. This is my expert. He's a political analyst, and he has an MA in environmental something. He's an analyst of everything. The two good majors is major in two good subjects, which is politics and environmental something. About he's going to go into the mind of Brumskin and also the mind of the Supreme Court. And today they came out with a decision. My brother Randy, how are you today?
Hey, Tunis, I'm doing great, and thanks for having me tonight. I appreciate it. 45 minutes. I think it will be a quick learning experience for our followers to get to understand what is actually unfolding in the country. So thanks for having me. It's a pleasure.
All right, before we go further, Randy, can you just introduce yourself for our listeners? Just briefly introduce yourself, who you are. Are you a Liberian or American or Jamaican? And what do you do so far before we go into our topic?
Yeah, my name is Randolph Darpo, and I'm an environmental policies and analyst. I look at every spectrum of society from the regulatory standpoint, from the policy standpoint. And I also have an engineering degree in environmental engineering. And I do have a computer science degree as well. But over the course of the year, most of my expertise has been looking at policies, the behavior of human being, their interaction with society, why they make decisions, what is the benefit, and what can I do to undo some of the benefits by exposing the behaviors in that. And on top of that too, I'm also very much in tune to politics. I have a very great general knowledge in politics, and not to mention Liberian politics. I'm very good at analyzing our politicians because over the course of the year, I understood what their positions are, when they strike and when not to strike, when they align and when not to align. So this conversation here is going to be basically about the decision of the Supreme Court tonight. So today, thanks for having me. I want people to look at me as someone who look at things from an analytical point of view, from the root cause to the deviations and why things are happening and why we continue to go in circle and what solution can I provide in terms of that. Thank you, Tunis.
Thank you for that introduction. That's a very fine introduction. So you know the value of the man who is right before you here today to talk about Liberian politics. What was the delay about from the Supreme Court anyway?
Well, I think the Supreme Court took the bait from Mr. Bronsky for the fact that we have institutions in our country, and if we are to grow our environment, I mean, if we are to grow our institution, we must build confidence and trust in our institution. So when Mr. Bronsky filed the report with the Supreme Court, I think they had to juggle between whether they should accept or whether they should not. So um, they got caught up between rock and hard places. So in the final analysis, they decided to come up with a decision about due process, following the process that is applicable to our society. So as you can see today, they came up with that decision, which is giving a U-turn back to the NEC, which is the governing body that oversee the election in our country.
But one thing I would like for you to let us know from last week when the case was presented to the Supreme Court, and they told us that they were going to get back to us on Thursday, and which Thursday was a national holiday. Why would they come up with a decision like that? And well, they were knowing that it's going to be a holiday. Why was that?
Well, apparently they got caught up in the process, not knowing that was an oncoming holiday. And for the most part, too, like you observe on the news, they have the ECOWAS delegation in the country. They too are also trying to weather the storm in the country in regards to what the decision of the Supreme Court would turn out to be. So all these factors build all the chemistry that the publicists, that came up with the fact that they were going to deliver on Thursday, probably did not, give thought to the fact that Thursday was going to be a holiday. So, that's a lesson learned, and that's why we're supposed to have publicists who will look at the calendar to determine on what is ahead and when and why can we make or not make the kind of statement. So those are some of the reasons that they listen to Tunis.
But do you think Bronsky really went through the due process to take the court case directly from NEC without NEC giving him any response and just taking it straight to the Supreme Court? Was he taking the right process?
No,
Is that?
You see, Bronsky is a calculated politician. He's a calculated politician that only in there for himself. Because, like I told folks tonight, I like to look at the deviation, the root cause analysis as to what thing happened and why. Let's look at 2005. 2005 had an election, Tunis, and for every election, you have to generate a report that is described as the post-election report. And that post-election report will look at the near misses, the opportunity to improve, the recommendation. That is to prepare for the next future election. Mr. Bronsky was part of that. Ambassador Weah was part of that. President Johnson said he was part of that. Ambassador Weah was the only person who came out to say, you know what, we have some irregularities. How can we face the irregularities? But he got toned down. People disregard what he was saying. We jumped into 2011. Same thing happened. This time it was Ambassador Weah, and it was also Honorable Tubman. They came again with the same instruction. Again, the same people turned around again and forgot about listening to Ambassador Weah. They decided to move on. Now today, Honorable Bronsky knows very well that the party that he was aligning himself with, President Andy Johnson Sirleaf, is not supporting the Unity Party anymore. So that makes him vulnerable. Now, remember, from 2005 to 2011, Mr. Bronsky was quiet. He didn't say anything. But now he looked into the crystal ball now and feel that there's no hope for him. So what he decided to do now? He decided now to take his own interests, the interest that would benefit him. So he went against the out. We have voter irregularities. It's obvious that it's supposed to happen. Voter irregularities is supposed to happen. It's obvious. But why it is not obvious is the process involved. Authority in our country, by law and by rule and by article within NEC regulation, that once the election result is announced, after 7 days, you can file your appeal, and followed by a 30-day investigation by NEC and her staff. Now, Mr. Bronsky knew that his allegation was insufficient to substantiate his claim with NEC. But because he felt he knows the law, he decided to what? To now wait for the closure from NEC to give him that right to go to the Supreme Court. What did he do, Tunis? He took a case to the Supreme Court. While the case was still being investigated, Musa Belidi was representing Unity Party, presenting the cases of what they had discovered. But Bronsky felt that because there was a projected date that was given by NEC, he used his constitutional right to go to the Supreme Court. But here's the thing that he failed to make the Liberian people to understand. As long as that 30 days is not concluded, there's no closure to it. It's possible to have that election. Because the Supreme Court wouldn't even allow that when you have an ongoing case with a candidate who, for the fact, has a lot of people aligning with his philosophy. So he decided to disrespect the due process that he talked about. He disrespect that process, which I want the Liberian people to understand that when you run an institution, no matter who you are, we need to make sure that we respect the rules regarding any institution in the country. That's how we learn to be good citizens and make our country better. Instead, he jumped to the Supreme Court. Remember, we had 30 days. So between all the time you were ready to analyze, guess what happened? The case today came out to say, you know what? Since you asked for this stay order, there's nothing we can do. We're granting the stay order. Go back to the Supreme. Go back to NEC to have the issue resolved. But what? Hello, Tunis, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. Sorry about that.
Okay, all right. This is why the Supreme Court should have done. Why it is true that Mr. Bronsky has a right. The very day he filed his report with the Supreme Court regarding the stay order, the Supreme Court, knowing very well that NEC had 30 days, they should have an appeal and say, you know what, we're going to instruct NEC to make sure that your case is processed and present a conclusion, you come back to us. They didn't do it. They took a bit, and because of that, the Supreme Court managed to take some days away from the 30 days that NEC supposed to have taken to investigate the case, which is why today the court said the case has been sent. I mean, the issue has been ordered. Go back to NEC so that NEC can speedily investigate the case. The reason they use the word speed alert is because the Supreme Court has taken days out of that too. So now it's up to NEC. But I tell you what, NEC already has a result because NEC, through the different press conferences, NEC through their communication online, have proven that Mr. Bronsky does not have a case. So it's going to be a very fast-track decision that will be given back to Mr. Bronsky that he doesn't have a case. And guess what Mr. Bronsky is going to do? Mr. Bronsky now is going to go back to the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court now is going to decide his fate. As you know, the Supreme Court is the arbiter of law in our country and the final decision maker. Now, there is a caveat to that. Remember, Eddie Snow is part of the Unity Party that has aligned itself with Mr. Bronsky. When they work on that committee of justices, I'm having a little doubt because there's a conflict of interest right there. So I want the Liberian people to look at this, that if the decision favor Mr. Bronsky and Mr. Snowwell is on that committee, I can say for a fact that she may play some role. So to take herself out of any kind of shenanigan, I would suggest that she recuse herself from that process. And here is why. Because Mr. Snow had gone to the same Supreme Court with cases, and he had won those cases. But those cases have been very minute cases. But this case is a very large case that we don't want to take for granted. Because you know what? We have two significant parties that are the outstanding party in the country, and we want that election to be held and not to be put in some kind of debacle that would derail our election. So I'm also calling that his wife recuse herself should, in case Mr. Bronsky go back for the final hearing of his case. But the NEC going to have a very fast track of Mr. Bronsky's case, which they're going to deny, and they're going to recommend a forward step into the runoff election.
But how got involved into this case, and they have already agreed to go for the runoff with CDC? How come they became an adversary to this particular case?
I tell you what, there are two things. Number one, Unity Party does not have the calculus. They does not have the chemistry to win this election. So they resulted to Bronsky derail process. Because think about it, Eddie Johnson said he had been the brain behind the Unity Party. She had been the mobilizer, she had been the motivator, she had been the financier, she had been the brain. But because she decided to take a back seat, knowing full well that Mr. Bokar does not have the juice to become the next president, she decided to take the back seat. Secondly, most of her folks that are better with her, the legs of Councilor Bronsky, including Bokar himself, Eddie Snow, these are all the different people that differ with Ellen Johnson's selling philosophy. So they all align themselves now with the Unity Party. But they have nothing to prove. Remember, Tunis, before we got into this stuff, they were preaching what? The message of war, 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 war. Because they don't have message. How will a party that was in power for 12 years don't have a message for the So what they resulted to? They resulted to what? Creating chaos among our people, that there will be war in Ambassador Weah win. And we know that Ambassador Weah, who he is, has been the UN ambassador, has been the peace reconciler through the Ellen Johnson study administration, and he has done extremely well in that role. Number two, he also had served as presidential candidate within his party, and he also has served as VP in his party, and they had irregularities, but because of the sake of our people, they allow these things to go ahead. But Unity Party feel that they don't have the numbers, they don't have to align with Mr. Walker Bronsky. Mr. Walker Bronsky has become the supporter of this election. He has nothing to lose because he has been a care-place person. Now, as the supporter, guess what is happening here? Unity Party that don't have the means to go to the second round to win this election has decided to join the fray, to derail the process, to create frustration within the mind of our people, which is why I'm on here to say, you know what? Look at Unity Party record. Look at Mr. Bronsky's record. Since when did Mr. Bronsky took interest into voter irregularities? Why didn't he speak about this in 2005? Why didn't he speak about it in 2011? Why didn't he speak about it before the election on 2017?
This is a man who didn't even take 10% of the voting record in Liberia. He didn't even come up to 10%. Why is he taking these steps? And for the matter of fact that he's not going anywhere with this case anyway, even if you have to rerun this over and always be the third place or the fourth place. Where is he taking this to?
Well, it's a political manipulation trying to do a Bronsky, as I told you, is a calculated politician. What he's doing now is a mind game. He wants to drag and derail this process so that the voters in the country can get frustrated. And in his mind, he feels that that is going to build Unity Party to gain more status in terms of numbers. So dragging the process, going to frustrate people, people are going to give up, people are going to get tired, and they're going to go away. Congress for for democratic change, all right? The CDC party will continue to remain resolute. They continue to remain focused. They continue to keep their guard, which is why when you hear today's decision, look, to this, I want to give thanks to members of the CDC party for being so organized. If you look at some of the images that were on Facebook today, they had the police were in full gear. They have the surveillance population to see what the CDC was going to do today. Not knowing that CDC is not a problem in our country. When the result was announced, the police came in high gear. Did you see any commotion in the street? Absolutely not. Did you see anybody causing chaos? Absolutely not. Because the CDC is focused on one thing, and that thing is we are waiting for the runoff so we can take Ambassador Weah to the executive mansion. That shows that the party is focused. So what Mr. Bronsky and Unity Party are doing is just wasting people's time and don't want to move forward.
I would like for you to go into the mind of the Election Commission. What do you think they are coming? What will be their response to Mr. Bronsky? And do you think that response going to get Mr. Bronsky back to the Supreme Court, or he just going to waive it? Because I overheard that he doesn't even trust the Election Commission. And where are we going with this if he doesn't trust the Election Commission? And this is the Election Commission that went through this process, the first round, and there was a date for the second round. Until now, we came to this dilemma. How can we? How can you go into the mind of the Election Commission?
Well, the Election Commission might have already been made up. They see Mr. Bronsky allegation as an isolated issue and as a mere scam to derail the process. Here's why. The Election Commission had come out with the ballots that Mr. Bronsky was claiming that was actually ballot brochures. Those were brochures. When you vote in other countries, they gave you the final brochure to look at in order to determine who you're actually going to vote for. Those are the ballots that Mr. Bronsky brought forward as evidence. And besides that, the magistrate of every county and district within our country, the next administration has contacted these people, and they are proving that there is not any sort of voter irregularity or fraud that took place during our election. So the decision, their decision now to Mr. Bronsky would be, there isn't enough evidence to prove that there were any sort of irregularities. Will that time elapse? Absolutely, Tunis. There will be time elapsed, because you know what? Since 1847 country, so eastern part of the country is divided from the northern part, all right? And then from the northern part is always divided from the east and the west because of bad road condition. Those things will equate to having lapses in the time. But does that equate to massive fraud or lapses in our election process? Absolutely not. So Mr. Bronsky's claim is not going to be sufficient to have any decision from NEC in his favor. But guess what he's going to do? When he gets that, he's not going to relax now, because NEC already made up his mind. He is now going to run to the Supreme Court. And the Supreme Court, of all courts that we know in the country, we have a deadline of January the 18th. So January the 18th is supposed to be the inaugural day. I can say for a fact that the Supreme Court is going to tell Mr. Bronsky, based on the next decision, as an institution that we trust to run our election in this country, we deem it unnecessary to move forward with this case, and NEC has to look into itself to determine what can be done to correct the process, which is why I'm always calling for post-election report, because the post-election report will give the next election commissioner the opportunity for improvement, to improve the system. We have an ecosystem in our country, whether it's governmental ecosystem, whether it's the family ecosystem, whether it's a private ecosystem, there will always be margin errors. But those marginal errors can be corrected to prevent further mistakes in the future, which is why I have been calling for post-election to determine wrong. And Mr. Bronsky has not been an advocate for these things, but only because he feels that he had aligned himself with the Unity Party that want to create chaos, because they feel in their mind that Ellen Johnson Sirleaf is supporting Mr. Weah and the Joel Howard ticket. So they all have supported, they all are supporting him now to go after the Supreme Court in the legal way to derail the peace process, which is unfair to the people of Liberia.
But this is the man that say he doesn't have trust in the election commission. Now, where are we going with this?
They say when the New Year will be good or the Christmas will be good, you can tell from the Eve. He hasn't even gone there yet, but he had already started to cause trouble. Mr. Bronsky is a spoiler. He's a spoiler of peace. He's a spoiler of our political process. He had no good intention for that country, because he hasn't even gone there to test what the Supreme Court is made of. Remember, Mr. Bronsky had a beef. Remember when Harrison Conway was denied by the Election Commission of violating the code of conduct? What did Mr. Bronsky? Yeah, he ran to the Supreme Court and got it well, which is why when NEC was investigating his case, he felt that he was not going to get his chance. So he jumped the gun again and went to the Supreme Court. But this time around, he got a punch in the face and said, you know what? We hold that stay order, go back to NEC and go reconcile with them for you guys to have that hearing. And if that hearing turns your way, fine. If it doesn't turn your way, we are here. But again, Tunis, Mr. Bronsky is a sport. He's a political. He's not in the interest of the Liberian people. He and Honorable Borka. I feel sorry for Mr. Borka. This is a man who people claim that he has 42 years record. All right? Do you think for a second that the position that Mr. Borka in, preparing himself for second round, do you think if Bronsky were in that position, know who he is? This is a man who was corporate lawyer for a company in his own county, and he put his county under the bus and supported a corporate organization that was disturbing and inhumanly treating his people. Do you think if he had the opportunity that Mr. Borka is in today, Tunis, do you think he was going to take side with what Mr. Borka was going to do, which he's doing now today? No. Second opinion, fact here. If Mr. Weah had decided to do what Mr. Bronsky is doing today in 2011, what was going to be the response of the Liberian people?
Before we move further, this is a program that I only bring one expert in our Liberian politics at time, and this is the guest I got here today. We are here to discuss the issue, the response. We are reacting to the response from the Supreme Court today. This morning, the Supreme Court brought up our decisions that the case must go back. The case that Bronsky took to them must go back to Election Commission. So I brought up my brother here, who is a master degree holder in politics, in environmental something that he knows of, and he introduced himself that way. He also got a little bit of knowledge of politics, so he go into the mind of our politician, and that's the reason why he's here for tonight. And we will not be taking call from nobody else. If you want to hang out with us to know more about Liberian politics, this is what we are here for. And we're not here for 45 minutes. We already spent almost 20, 25 minutes. So let me come back to you, Randy. His name is Randy.
Sure.
I'm Tunis. This is all about Liberia. If you're a Liberian, you can stick around. If you're not, you're interested in Liberia politics, you can stick around. Let me come back to you again. What about um, URE? URE involvement into this court case. What is involvement in this?
Well, these are all losers. All of them are losers. And I'm sorry to be so broad with the word loser. They are all losers because you know what? URE is on record for telling anyone in Liberia who is eligible to vote to never vote or align themselves with anyone who is part of the Unity Party establishment. But guess what? His own faithful media talk show host, who has said all kinds of nasty things about Mr. Borka, is today in the backyard of Mr. Borka talking about how good he is. So what do you expect from Mr. Ure? These are all political parasites that are looking for anywhere or any used body to breathe into. But with the citizen are not like that. CDC remain resolute. CDC is a horse who went AWOL, but they are not going out there to tell you that if you go to join Unity Party, if you go to join ALP, if you go to join ANC, we will not support you. No, CDC always have that open arm to bring back their members. Because you know what? People can go and experience for themselves and they will come back. So what does that tell you about Mr. Ure? The question is, why did he in the first place even establish a political party when he doesn't have a principle for which he stands? He violates the own words that come out of his mouth. He violates those words. So to be true with you, Mr. Ure doesn't have political. He doesn't have anything to rely on. If you don't have nothing to rely on, you fall for anything. Which is why now he's aligning himself.
What about Cummins? Cummins
is a disturbed guy. All right, he's a complete disturbed individual. He had the opportunity to make or to break, but he continued to break himself down. He said we cannot keep doing the same thing over and over. But he doesn't understand the political culture of our country.
And getting the same result.
Yeah. So now what has he done? The Liberian people have suffered for 12 years on the UP administration. Mr. Bronsky has done nothing to change anything to make it right. Today he's throwing his support behind these two people. So what does that tell us? He's no different from the diaspora Liberians that go to to go to Liberia just for themselves. This man, all he should have done when he lost the election was to sit on the fence and see what these people are made of. But instead, he joined with them. Now he's part of the supporter group. So ANC, ALP, Unity Party, Liberty Party, call them from today on the supporter. They are all supporters in our country. They don't want to see the country move forward. It's very disheartening to our people.
For those of you who are listening to our program here, this is mainly for a CDC, a sedition. This is a sedition program. You welcome anybody. You can be a Unity Party member. You can be a Cummins supporter. You can be Brunskin supporter. You're welcome to hang out with us. But mainly, this is all about CDC Party, this program here. And I brought this young man here. He's a true sedition, and he's also well knowledge of the Liberian politics. That's why he's here. So you can put any derogative marks you want to. We agree to that.
We welcome that. We welcome that. You know what? We welcome that. You can keep criticizing. As long as you're criticizing, you listen to the program, we welcome that. Because you know what? The truth must be told. These guys have been in the political vanguard for all these years, according to the men who are going to disturb the peace. They didn't say that a few months ago that they're going to disturb the peace. Now what happening now, Tunis? They are the one now who are the spoiler, who trying to derail the peace process and don't want our country to move forward. They are the spoiler. They are the spoiler.
What can you tell our Liberian people in the diaspora that what is really going on for them to understand it from your point of view?
What's what happening here? Every time we advocate that when will Liberia become a better country, this is the opportunity that we have never been able to experience. Even our fathers, our mother, and our grands and our granny have never been able to experience. And that is the transformation of power from one government to another. Many of us have seen it happen in other countries where we reside. This is an opportunity that we supposed to at least believe in, to say, you know what, let me see this piece of opportunity before I die. But Mr. Brunskin, with the DNA from the 1990 days, it had resonated in him. He don't want to see that process. He don't want us to tell our children that we one time saw a transformation of government from one leadership to another. So all we need to do from over here is to condemn his action and let us tell our people back home to trust the decision of NEC. If America election, our God, you lost the election. Donald Trump won the election. Hillary Clinton, you lost the election. Let us trust our system, because our system must improve in order for us to move forward. So that is my message to our people in the diaspora. We must learn to tell our people to trust the decision that come from the authorities and those that are in authority in our country. Flomoyan did it for Ellen Johnson Sirleaf. Let Mr. Kokoya do it for this round. He had declared 2 winners.
What thing if Ambassador Weir became president of Liberia, what are some of the changes you think will be put in place in Liberia?
Well, first of all, we have human capacity issue. We have the issue of corruption. We have the issue of divide and rule, which is why today you're seeing a lot of folks supporting other political parties, even though back in the days they said the political party was bad, but it has resulted to 2 parties now, CDC and Unity Party. The divide and rule game, where everybody goes in there for themselves and not for the entire country. Ambassador Weir, when he becomes president, which he will in the not too distant future, right after we get into the runoff election, he's going to win the thing. Is to, number one, to look at the way to break that chain, to break that umbilical cord between people who are depending on some political individual rather than giving them that independent mind. He's going to build a human capacity. He's going to make sure that people marry what they deserve. He's going to make sure that he make our people to love our country more than the very country we live in. That is the mindset. And that dream cannot be realized by Ambassador Weir himself. That dream can be realized by every Liberian who is watching this program now and who want the best for their children. Tunis, every day when I sit here, I see my kids grow up. And when I hear war in the country, we give a war to Liberia, wherein when they get sick, even their finger is hurt, they're on the plane coming to America or going somewhere else. And you have bulk of people in the country that are not able to get the same opportunity. And then when you hear them talking about, oh, I believe in the justice system, but when something happens, they're ready to take out the plane to leave. Those individuals, like Mr. Bronsky, like Mr. Boyka, like Mr. Alexander Cummings, like Mr. Uri, those people don't have love for that country. This is a man who can tear place. And this is something that he has been consistently being on for 3 successive elections. To see today that, oh, because he didn't win the election, he wants to. My word to the people of Liberia is he had the opportunity to make it better in 2005. He had the opportunity to make it in 2011. He had the opportunity to make it between 2012 to 2016. He did none of those things, but because he feel that Ellen Johnson Sirleaf is on the side of Ambassador Weir, which is untrue, and he knows very well that he is going to be slapped. This man is 66 years old. The next election, he's probably going to be over 70 years old. He will stand no chance. He's fighting the losing battle that he's not going to win, because in weeks to come, the Supreme Court will overturn his decision and he will join the population.
After the last election, this is the man that told us that he wasn't going to run again. That was his last choice. But
correct.
Again, when he came back, he said God told him to run. I mean, is this a prophet? with God told him to run, but God didn't tell him that he was not going to win. I mean, can you say something about this? Because really,
Well,
it got me
he, he,
confused.
he's just a con artist. That's who he is. You know, con artists always come back with new tricks to be allowed back into the system. All right? He's a man of no purpose. He's a man of no vision. He doesn't want to build institution. Is to build his self-esteem, to seek things for himself and his immediate family. That's who he is. Because if he said that he was not going to be running, he was going back to his farm, what triggered him to come back? Now he's back now. Look, complete chaos. That's why he's presenting to us. Chaos, chaos, chaos.
What do you
If you say
think?
God,
What do you think Boakai leadership would do to us, we the Liberian?
Boga is not going to have a leadership. Boga
I mean,
leadership is being seen now.
if anything happened, we don't know. This let's presume that if he became
Well,
president, what his
well, then
leadership would do to
I
the
will close my eyes. I will close my eyes to discuss it because it's not going to happen in my life. No. It's not going to happen. So let me close my eye and discuss that. I'm being very honest with you here. And this is where my analytical skill comes out. This man has ran 12 years with the Unity Party, has done nothing. 42 years, he has done nothing but to preach war, 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 fear-mongering politics. It's not going to work. So in his leadership, look what he's doing now in his party. He doesn't have a message for the people of Liberia. He relies on Bronskin to disturb our people's mind, thinking that he's going to get elected. But the more he continues to carry on and support this behavior of Mr. Bronskin, he is sinking himself more deeper to the bottom of this earth where he's going to lose big time. Because this is the time that he's supposed to come out when people are talking about war to say, you know what? We are at war in this country, people. Whoever is preaching war politics, I'm not for it. I want to make sure that the administration that I'm serving now, we want to make sure that we're able to, when we get into the next phase, we will do our best. But Mr. Booker is silent on everything. He's silent on some of his supporters talking about there will be war. He's silent on the fact that Unity Party is dragging this thing and he's taking his side with them. He's not being a leader. He doesn't have the stigma. He doesn't have the stamina. This man is a total loser. He's a complete failure to himself, to his family, to the people of Liberia. Therefore, he is not going to be elected. So let's just forget about Borka. Borka is just in the race because he had been little influence that Eddie Johnson said he left with the Unity Party through partisan, which is why he's in this race. But to say that he's going to spy in Barcelona, that is going to be in my eye closed dream world, but not in my eyes open reality world because he's not going nowhere, Tunis. What record does he have to run on now? All right, if you have a better record, you will be talking about your successes. You will be talking about what you have accomplished for this country. This is a man who said he was like an old to jack that car on an old and junk it. That's all he had to do. That's all we're
So
looking for right now.
let's look at Prince Johnson. I mean, before the election, Prince Johnson was bad mouthing Weir because of some incident took place in Nimba
Correct.
between Brumskin Party and the CDCM Party. And
Yes.
he came out bad mouthing that if Ambassador Weir become president of Liberia, there will be a war. And now we are seeing him on board with Weir, how this gameplay all of a sudden is switched to Weir against George Weir and the CDC party, calling them all kinds of names, that they are hoodlum, they are grown-up boys, motorbike boys in the street. They know nothing. They are not educated. If he become president, there will be a war. There will be something. Now he's on board with George Weir. How that happened?
Well, that just politics. All right, that just politics. He was only making those fear mongering. Number one, he's a guy who lived through the war. He's a guy who came to power through making name for himself through the war. So he felt that it was going to resonate with him. Guess what? It didn't resonate. All right? He came where? In the fourth place, I guess. He came in the fourth place. So he had learned a lesson that, look, you can scare the people sometime, but you cannot scare the people all the time.
All
which
the
I
time.
really did not support. All right. But here is the thing that I won't take. You know, I gave him 5% of my trust. He's a guy who believes in principle. And if only Mr. Bronsky could live by his own principle that society will appreciate, it will make him a great person. Here's why. Senator Johnson said the reason, and the only reason he's aligning himself with Ambassador Weah is when they went to Ganta. Oh, Ure, Ambassador Weah, and the Johnson himself, they made that commitment that if one of the parties succeeded and come face to face with Unity Party, they will all support that party. So he said he was mongering politics. It failed, but he did not resort to say, you know what, I'm not going to support this guy. Because you know what? All the 19 political parties that were on that platform in the campaign, their goal was to unseat the Unity Party. If that is true to themselves and to the people that supported them, my question is, what if Mr. Ure had won to go to the second round? What if Ellis Cummings, Prince Johnson, Ure have gone to the second round with Unity Party? Were they going to align themselves with the Unity Party and say, take it, we're not going to go for second round? Or were they going to say, you know what, whoever wins, including Ambassador Weah, was he going to support whoever from the opposition party was going to take on Unity Party? I would tell you, say yes. Ambassador Weah are going to do exactly that because you know what? He's a man who wants to see change in our country, no matter who was going to be the front runner to meet the Unity Party. He was going to support them. But you know what? It wouldn't show Mr. Ure, Mr. Bronsky, all of these people don't have the country at heart. They claim by their mouth, but by their action, it shows that they don't have that country at heart. So everything that our people have suffered for the past 12 years, Ellis Cummings, Mr. Bronsky, Mr. Ure, they have been fooling us. Not knowing that they appreciate the suffering our people are going through because they see that as an economic benefit for themselves, which is why they are aligning themselves now with Mr. Boyka of the Unity Party. That is the trick that they are bringing here. Because, Tuna, you tell me, if you've been complaining, like you say, don't vote for anyone who is part of the Unity Party. But here is he today, aligning himself with the Unity Party. Ellis Cummings said, we can't keep doing the same thing over and over. Here is he now, aligning himself with the Unity Party. You see my
So
point?
do you really think that these elections going to go on the second round, or we're going to go for rerun or something like recount? What you're thinking?
There's not going to be no rerun. There's not going to be no rerun. We're going for the runoff. Mr. Bronsky's case will be a lesson learned. It will be a lesson learned that the next election, whatever we have brought up in 2005 and 2011 that was overlooked, what Mr. Bronsky had brought in 2017, those are things that the Election Commission will take as a lesson learned to improve our electoral process. This system is going to go through to the runoff. Nothing going to stop it. Here's why. Reason number one, we had 2 front runners. Reason number 2, we got a deadline to meet. Reason number 3, we don't have the financial means to go and waste our time. Number 4, our country needs to move forward and not to move backward. Bronsky, Ure, Cummings, Boyka, they want our country to go backward. We're not going to go backward. I was in my 20s when I left Liberia under the same Bronsky shenanigan. I've been in the country now for over 22 years. I don't want any Liberian to go through that same nonsense that I went through. The future of Liberia belongs to Liberians. Those Liberians that are not opportune to come to this country or travel out of the country, I want to make sure that they get the opportunity, which is why on the sidetrack, I do not support 100% dual citizenship. I support dual citizenship with restriction. Because if I came in this country and benefited here, I want to make sure that Ambassador Weah, when he supported dual citizenship, he should have limitation to it. Any Liberian who is truly educated and qualified for the job in Liberia should be given that opportunity. These are the things that I want to hear Mr. Boyka, Honorable Ure, Ellis Cummings talking about. But guess what? Those guys have been cheering, not in Liberia, but all the country. And Una Ambassador Weir is working in the interest of our people to get those things done. I always say
Now,
this for a fact. People may be
if you
criticizing me.
think,
Tune, hold on for 1 second before I lost my thought. I always
all
say
right,
this. I am supporting Ambassador Weir today. If he does become president, which he will, and he starts to screw up, trust me, I'm a well-qualified person who works for one of the biggest pharmaceutical industry in America. I don't need a job in Liberia. I will come right back here. And if you two does not come to sit with me, I will come back here and start to expose some of the things that I think that Ambassador Weir is not doing for the people of Liberia. No, that every Liberian who did not have the opportunity to come into this country or other country should be given that opportunity for the change he's advocating for. So the battle between the change that we're advocating for is just starting with me. All I've asked God for is long life, so you guys can see that the very Randy is a very controversial person if things are not going right for him. So the people of Liberia, I am not just here supporting CDC because I have an interest. No, my interest is already here. I already built my career for myself. All I'm advocating for right now is you that in Liberia to get that opportunity. Tuna, do you know when you're 40 years old, you have at least 20 more years to live your life? How many people in Liberia in their 40s, in their 30s, able Saturday to get an ice cream? I'm going to take my child to a private school and see my child go through that private school fence. Now, many people doing that, my brother. Not many people doing that. And then to see Mr. Bronsky, who live in our country, which I don't live now, and see how our people have been strangulated and he continue to suffocate our people. Why? Why? For the sake of power? That's why we should go through this thing. Mr. Bronsky is wrong. He must be able to backtrack. He must relinquish himself from what he pursuing and let the peace process go ahead. If he have an agenda to pursue, let him align himself with Mr. Barker, take his supporters to support Mr. Barker when they get into the election. If his candidate in his dream wins, then he can bring the idea. But guess what? If Mr. Barker and Mr. Uri and ANC and Mr. Bronsky reality, and Ambassador Weir wins, and they bring those things before him, and Ambassador Weir says no, trust me, I will be back here supporting all because one Liberian benefit all Liberians. Our people have suffered for a very long time. Can you imagine you see people in the country begging, in your own country you begging? God have mercy on us, Tunis. Sorry for
okay,
interrupting your question.
what do you think that people are complaining so much about in Liberia right now? Like, for instance, probably it could be rural condition, hunger, or currency devaluating. In the first 100 years, presidency, what do you think he's going to tackle first?
Well, as a political analyst, as a policy and regulatory analyst, I firstly would like to see Ambassador we are carrying on a full-blown audit of every ministry to determine the deficit we have. If we identify the deficit, to have the transparent leadership from the executive mansion, I would like to see Ambassador we are having a weekly press conference to start. And as long as they get into that rhythm, the next thing now is to make sure that they continue to inform the people. Our people need to be very, very abreast to how he's going to run his government. If Eddie Johnson said he is leaving maybe $2.2 billion or millions of dollars in debt, he needs to declare that. The next thing he needs to do is to reconcile the country. I feel so bad when I see some of my brothers and sisters aligning themselves with politicians. I don't like them. I don't appreciate them. Liberia is all we have. Some people live 30 years old. They don't even have what we have, Tunis, in our country. I could have been one of them. I could have been in our country today, hustling, which is why I'm on the side advocating for them. I have seen these politicians have done nothing for our country. So let us get Ambassador we have the opportunity. If he screw up, we all can come here and put him on the grill and grill him good. Because you know what? Our democracy is making progress.
There is a question from one of the watcher here saying Sarah, her name is Sarah Jackson, saying that what made you think that only CDC is the one that can change Liberia? What made you think so?
Yes, CDC is the owning party. Guess what? The name Zogos. It was not Ambassador Weir that created the Zogo. The Zogo was those who fought in the war that were chewed out. You know, when you chew a bubble gum, you take the sweet from in it, you chew it out. After the war, Mongol came, they created the war in our country. They turned the young guys into Zogos and they spit them out. When Ambassador Weir came, he was the only man the UN saw that during the war, when he was playing, people listening and want to hear his name. The UN brought him in as a peace ambassador. Eddie Johnson started talking, which is why the kids, they see him based on his foundation of where he came from and decide to align themselves with him. They see a future through them. And guess what? He has stayed in there for almost what? 12 years. He ate with them, he ride with them, he slept with them.
Let me
and the
just
party
hold you
remained
there for a
consistent.
second, please. Let me just hold you there for a second. For those of you who are listening, this program here is all about CDC and it's only take one person at a time. We cannot take more than one person. This is Facebook Live. It's not any particular program we are using. We are using Facebook Live. But right now, Facebook Live only take one person at a time. So we cannot invite more than one. And right now, my guest here is Randy Dapper, who lives in the Pennsylvania area. I want him to get into our politician here and give us some sense from there, what they mean, all of what the games are going on about the players and the Liberian people. So go ahead. Sorry about stopping you.
Yeah, sure. So again, CDC, under the leadership of Ambassador, we have become consistent with our plight, the plight of our people. He remained in the struggle. He listened to them. Can you imagine people were on the CDC compound when soldiers went there and killed them? It remind me of what happened on the university campus when I was little. West Ham those sent people to go and kill people at the University of Liberia. The CDC went through that on November the 7th. Ambassador Weir did not pack it low and say, you know what, I'm done. The politicians don't want to see no peace in this country. Some of us had done it. We packed our load, we left. But he continued to stay with the people. So he remained consistent. So the people feel that the future is in Ambassador Weir. Even Ellie Johnson Sirleaf has seen it. Robert Sirleaf has seen it. All the popularity and good things that Mr. Sirleaf did. When he went in the contest with Ambassador Weir, he lost. So the people are giving their trust to Ambassador Weir. Is he going to be 100% perfect? I would say no. Does he need our support? Like Ambassador Weir there and testing. If you got an issue, you go to Ambassador Weir, present your issue. Let's see how he's going to handle it. These politicians have failed us. Ambassador Weir continue to be the torchbearer of the Zogos in our country. Why will you call somebody Zogo when they were not Zogo to begin with? Even the Mr. Bronsky have been here talking about Zogos.
There is a brother here whose name is Musa Jate.
Okay.
Musa Jate. He's coming here. He says you are tired pushing hour in America, so you are looking for job. My brother, we know you guys.
Look. I'm not here to brag. Today, that's why I say people have a comment. Right? I just came for work. All right. I just came from work. I work in Princeton. I don't know where you know Princeton, but if you do your research on Princeton, I work with one of the top medical device company. If your grandfather's heart is broken and he's about to die, we make the device as an engineer. We make those devices. It's just a generator. When the electric go off in Liberia, the generator kick in. We make the device called pacemaker. We sell them $500 per piece. Liberia cannot afford to buy that. We make those things $500 per piece. And we sell that over the whole world.
But before you explain yourself,
my guests
that I bring on my show here, they are well-educated people, well-known people. They know how to get into the mind. They got degrees that some of us don't even have. So let us respect them. They are Liberian.
No, Tunis, don't give credence to the people. Let them have their say. This is what democracy is all about.
I told them that you can make them too. This is what the show is all about. But we just want you to understand that these people that we bring on the show here, they are not people to play with. They are people who are well knowledgeable of whatever they study.
Let me tell you this story. Anybody that listens to me, go to the Liberian EPA tomorrow and ask for Randy. Your EPA director comes to me every time for advice. They even give me a job. They offer me a job. I turn it down. I bought my Camara when he was at the bank, central bank. I have those information. They gave me the job. When I told them how much I'm making here, Ellen O'Pratt from the Labor Ministry, she said, "You're making too much money. We can't pay you that money." And I said, "Okay, if you're paying the people from NOCA $30,000, why you can't pay me how much I'm making?" She said, "Oh, we don't have that money for you." But you know what? I wasn't ready to work for them. But I'm ready to support Ambassador Weah, which is why I'm not looking for a job in Liberia. Because number one, my company will not let me go. My wife will not let me go. I can only become a consultant. Right now, Tunis, I'm working with a company in Germany right now. Let me finish this point. I'm working with a company in Germany that when Ambassador Weah become president, I'm going to bring that company to purify every drinking water in every community. Because you know what? The typhoid fever. You know where the typhoid fever starts from? It starts from the very dumper you dump your diet. The rat, the roaches, crawl on all those things, come to your house, which is why typhoid fever is so high in the country. So when Ambassador Weah gets there, my role will be to train people, train health workers, train young adults in school, in colleges, how to become a better Liberian to protect the country. So when it comes to talking about looking for food, I go to work at 9 a.m. I have a staff meeting every morning. I sit down in my office until I get tired. So just forget about that, my brother. I don't want to brag about that, but since Tune brought it up, I want to say it because you know what? There are many Liberians who don't want to hear what I'm saying. It's very, very bad. I don't believe in that. But it just came up because Tune said that. But when it comes to degree, trust me. Right now, I'm doing my second master now in the pharmaceutical industry. When you live in America, the pharmaceutical industry make money, right? Money.
There's another lady here, Ellen Paul. She
Okay.
said, we, wait a minute, let me see it. Oh man, where's the Ellen woman, man? Okay, right here. She said, you're bringing educated people to your show when CDC don't believe in education. Can you elaborate on that?
No. That's the mind people. It's just like in America, they say all the black people are all criminal. So why are you bringing more criminal? No. It is the politician. It is the boycott. It is the URI. It is the ANC. They all are calling the people Zogos. If I come to Liberia, I'm not going to hang out with the folks. I'm going to West Point. Right now, I'm in contact with many communities that are in deplorable conditions. Make sure that, and I can guarantee you, when I come to Liberia, I'm going to go into these communities and I'm going to help people. Because if we as Liberians try to denigrate our own people, then what you expect the Osa man, what you expect the Lebanese man, what you expect the Indian man to say to your people? It could have been me to say, oh, you're not educated. So let us not create that divide between ourselves because only the enemy will win. If you see your brother down, give him helping hand. If you see your sister down, give them helping hand. Which is why I pray every day that I must do something to help everyone. If it will come through Ambassador Weah, which I believe it will be, is to come. Come to Liberia, provide services at the University of Liberia, provide community leadership. Take, for example, Tunis, we have billions in our country. What if all the natural disasters happening in the world happen in our country? How many kids in the school know how to escape fire when the school is on fire? How many market women in the market know that when the building is on fire, when we have an earthquake, when the Ministry of Finance is shaking, how do people get out to be safe? How do they know all these things? It's through education. The reason we're not educated because there were some who decided to bring war to our country, who never talk about the future, that this life we live in is a hand over and take over. When you serve your term, you give time to the other to serve. So I don't believe in people not educated. If people are not educated, I will ask myself, but what have the system done that make our people not to be educated? In America here, it's a mandatory requirement that everyone graduate from high school. Why don't we have that in Liberia? Why don't we encourage that in Liberia? But we have some ministers who sit in a car and invite young girls and exploit them. We have lawmakers who exploit young girls. But nobody's saying anything about that because they want to use the slavery or economic wealth to keep our people down. I live in the swamp, capital, because my parents could not afford it. Which is why when I came here, the opportunity was given to me. I learned to the best of my ability. And I want to make sure that those that don't have that opportunity to come here, they should be given the first preference in Liberia to get that opportunity. Which is why I will always challenge Ambassador Weir that those who are behind him today, if he become president, give them scholarship, send it abroad, let them learn, and be able to come back and use their brain and their hands to build our country of Tunis. So let the people have their say. Let them have their say.
There's another person there, Buster T. Heenan Jr. With all the million we had, what structure can the Liberian be proud of to show the world? And let me see. He moved on to say, has we invested? Which keep writing too. Let me just
Just focus on one question and give it to me.
That's what I'm saying. Has we invested in Liberia like his fellow football players in their country?
Let me ask you one question. Eddie is an economist, right? Dr. Toba Nantipo is a PhD. Amos is a PhD. How many of them have built PhD university in Liberia? Someone want to question people's background. All the bookish people who have in Liberia, why is the University of Liberia like that? I mean, you should be thinking that Liberia should be offering PhD in every area now. Okay, the Bronsky man, who is the top lawyer. How many top lawyers do we have? What is the best law school in Liberia? Look, we need to start joking about individualizing things to move our country forward. Ambassador Weir is here with vision. If you see Didier Drogba, you see Matombo, you see Samuel Eto'o, go and do a due diligence or studies as to what their government did to offer them the opportunity to build things. Secondly, look at the time Ambassador Weir was at the plight of making money. What did he do? He was in different refugee camps helping people. His time of making money at that time is not compared to what Didier Drogba and Samuel Eto'o are making today. Ambassador Weir told most of his wealth to support our people that were in displaced camp. But today, he's back in the country trying to rebuild the country. Those that destroy the country, that said we should level Morovia, what have they done today to rebuild the country?
Okay,
I'll be back.
We have already spent our time. We were here for 45 minutes, but we have gone up to more than an hour, just a little bit over an hour. Please go to YouTube and check on his campaign rally. But so if you won't mind for us to close because we can't stay here.
Yeah. I need to get a case to bear now, so yeah, we can wrap up now.
All right, let me hear your closing statement so that we can. This is something that we do here twice a week, Monday and Thursday. We're always here to let you know about the things that CDC is about to do in Liberia and talk about politics in Liberia. This is Tunis Show, and my guest here tonight is Randy Dapo. Okay, and tomorrow, if any of you want to join my show, my name is, if you have to be a sedition though.
Let them come with open mind.
Exactly. So you can join us. My number is 917. If you want to take the number down, 917-709-2944. You can get in touch with me and I can schedule you so that I can feature you on my show. So let me give my brother a chance to give his departing statement. Please take your time. Anytime
Look,
you take.
Guy, first of all, I want to apologize. My kids in the background here. I'm a family man. I take care of my kids. That's one of my priority here. And so please forgive me for the background noise. Number two, what I would like to say here, Tunis, is, guys, can you guys give me just 2 minutes? Let me wrap up. What I would like to say is I encourage everyone to come on the platform to express their view, express frustration you to say if you support URE, ANC, you shouldn't come here and have your say. It's free to me. You can have your say. You can say anything you want to say. But what matters here is I want to make sure that you as a Liberian, no matter who, sit down, please. Sorry, Tunis. No matter who you are, I want to make sure that the opportunity that every Liberian in this country, America, and other parts of the world, the opportunity they're giving to their children, you should also be able to give that opportunity to your children in Liberia. You should be able to take your children to the ice cream shop. You should be able to take your children to the better school. You should be able to take your mom, your aunt to JFK without paid penetration. It's the first time in my life that I have seen people die at the footstep of the hospital. And they not get it. People get sick, they come to America and get the first-class treatment. My goal is to make sure that Ambassador we have provide the necessary accessibility for those handicapped people that Mr. Barker had denied. My goal is to make sure that the soccer academy that the government did not provide enough resources for people who want to pursue other careers. I want to make sure that when you're a football player, you should be respected in our country. When you're a basketball player, you should be respected in our country. There's no reason why when you're a basketball player, you cannot diversify your skills. I was a computer scientist. Why do I become an engineer? Why do I become a pharmacist now? Because the opportunity is given to us in America to diversify our skills, to move forward. Liberia is our country. We must argue every day, but at the end of the day, we must look for the best leader. And I think about our people, he has been moderate. We saw that in 2011 where he said, let peace go ahead. Let Eddie Johnson say it rule. But here is Mr. Bronsky, who has denied the fact that he doesn't want for the peace to go on. He has decided to become intransigent to the peace. He is wasting people's time. There are people who want to go to school and learn. There are people who want to improve the health sector, the environment, the working condition. He's completely against all those things by remaining intransigent and saying that if this don't happen, we cannot move forward. So CDC is the way forward because Ambassador Weah have become the symbol of peace. He's the man who I believe in. With all the struggle that I went through, with all the education that I have in America, I have refused the opportunity from other government. But I believe that my expertise can support Ambassador Weah to become the person that I think he can make that country. He's a winner, he's a fighter, and he's going to make sure that he sees the thing through. My final advice to the sedition is remain resolute, keep your focus. All we do is we must wait because that's the right thing to do. Because it's the right thing, because the right thing comes through miracle. And through miracle, we will win this election and will prove to our adversary that Ambassador Weah is the lifetime in our history. He has made the world record, and he's going to make that record in Liberia, and therefore we should support him. Tunis, I'd like to thank you, and I'd like to thank everyone who came on today. Look, keep bringing us here. Let us discuss. You know, those critics, as long as they continue to listen to us and post their question, in the time to come, we'll re-engineer their mind to align with Ambassador Weah and our philosophy to move the country forward.
Now, what do you say? Sao Muya,
Yeah, so
Muya,
Muya, Sao. Muya, Sao. That is our motto. That is the motivation. When you feel that energy, then you will be prepared to go and vote. So don't mind Mr. Bronsky. Let him do all his dancing. He will get tired. He will get beat up. All we must do is to wait until the day the election is ready. We go out there and get Ambassador Weah that victory. We will come in there and show our support.
I appreciate you here, and I'll look forward to see you on Thursday.
Thank you, sir. No. Thursday, hold on. Thursday, I won't be here. I got a minor surgery to go through. I'm going through a minor surgery.
We will come there to you.
I'll be in my hospital. I'll be on the hospital bed. So my wife want me to take this. Muya, CDC, Muya.
All right, my brother. Thank you so much. Go take care of the kids.
I hope my matter can take my place on Thursday or any CDC. Like you said, this is our CDC show. We have all the expertise. Right now, before I leave, we got Gus, my fellow engineer from Illinois. He had 23 people in the country that are providing medical help to our people in Liberia. Every citizen will be tasked to carry a project to Liberia. I am looking forward after the election to do my part. So those that are on the other side would see what I'm made of, and they would say, you know what, Randy, we sorry for prejudging you, but we didn't know the kind of stuff. Tony, you know the kind of person I am, you
No, I
know.
know, man. I have no doubt. Thank you so much. Let me try to
All
see.
right.
Let me try to see if I can bring Mama to.
Okay. All right. Thank you, guys. Bye, everyone.
Bye. Doing okay. Let me try to see if I can bring you in for just a minute because the program is officially over. I'm just trying to bring another sedition for like 5 minutes. Want to be on your show? Let me see. Okay, one of you guys. I'm sending you invitation, Mamata. If you can respond to it, I'll really be happy because I know you are one of the strong seditions in this country. I see that Mamata is not coming. This other guy, I don't know what name is that. Okay, man, I send you an invitation. Let me see if he can come up. Who first come? If I can't get any of you in 2 minutes, then I have to close the show. But thank you guys for hanging out with us here tonight. This is all about CDC, trying to promote CDC one way or the other. We know that George Weah can be, he's the only one can change Liberia the way it is right now because 12 years up to now, the currency is every day going up. Now I think it's about $130 to $1 US. And the gas price just went up today. People buying gas for $5 to $6 a gallon. Can you believe that? And you want to bring back the same people to power? Wow. I don't know. I don't know how you guys think. Look, what you do to get my invitation, you have to turn your phone horizontally and you will see the invite on your bottom right hand corner. But your phone have to lay the widescreen way, horizontal. Just do it that way and you will see. You will get me. Okay, let me see if I can bring this. I try to bring everybody, but Alfonso Dake, let me see if I can bring you in. Alfonso, now I send you the invite. The invite is coming. You have to lay your phone, the widescreen, like you're watching Joshua Howard. Let me see if I can bring you. Joshua, I bring in almost everybody, but they're leaving. Joshua, I just send you an invite. Joshua, lay your phone like you're watching a movie or watching a game. Straight. Okay, Joshua. What's up, bro? You Joshua, right? How you doing?
Alfonso.
Huh?
Alfonso Declan.
Alfonso, how are you? I can take 5 minutes with you because the show is already over.
I'm all right.
Okay, what you
Yeah,
about?
I'm all right.
What you about? Are you a citizen?
I'm a, I'm in support of the CDC. Um, when I was in Liberia, I used to be with the Liberty Party camp, but I have totally separated myself from the Liberty Party, and now I have given my support to the CDC.
What are some of the
The
reasons
reason being,
why
is
you
that,
separated yourself from Liberty Party?
yeah, one of the reasons is this. You see, Councillor Bronsky is someone who is not consistent. That's one. Councillor
But
Bronsky, when he,
1 minute, hold on for a second. Please introduce yourself to at least to our listeners and tell us where you live in the diaspora, please.
well, I'm a Declan, Jersey, or Hamilton, to be
Hamilton, New
specific.
Jersey. All right,
Yeah.
that's enough. So let us know why you distance yourself from the Liberty Party.
The reason being, for trying to take myself out from the Liberty Party until Councillor Bronsky can no longer serve as a candidate of that party, I can never give my support. Bronsky is someone who is inconsistent in a sense. When Brunson had the 2005 election, he was mute after the election that he vote for whosoever he wanted them to vote for. He said whoever that was moved and saw any of the character in any of the two candidates at the time could vote for any of the candidate, which was very good and unique. But during the 2011 election, after he lost the election, after he was still maintaining that position, but yet he went and gave his support to Mahdi Johnson Sirleaf at the time, where they were the same people who are trying to unseat the kind of government. You can't be fighting someone, and at the same time, because you lost election to that person, and then you try to give support to that person. I don't know, it was on what basis. That was one. And two, Councilor Bronsky made a lot of religious people to put their trust in him, and so many people put their trust on the land. They saw their integrity. When Councilor Bronsky go to the Christian community, in fact, he came out and said that the people fool him. So this man is the kind of person that if he can't get what he wants from you, the next thing he go against you. He's not a leadership material.
So,
and I think
you really you have more than 15, 20 party in Liberia beside Liberty Party. What really encouraged you to join on board with CDC?
yeah, the reason why I gave my support to CDC is one. You see, we should be very much thankful for Ambassador Weah. If Ambassador Weah was a power greed, if Ambassador Weah was not a peace-loving or partisan, but now Liberia would have been in a disarray. Issue like people in confusion, demonstration going on. But sometimes when I sit and monitor most of these shows, I ask myself, is George Weah actually in Liberia? Does he actually talk? Because here is the thing that actually going on, and he has every right to direct a partisan, to direct his supporter into any trouble, into any demonstration. But the man is so kind, he's so humble and so loving, and have the country at heart to the extent that he doesn't want for anyone to get involved into. Who does not want his people to be into trouble? He's a leader to follow. A leader should be someone who should be humble. A leader should be someone who should be loving. A leader should not be someone who will bring division to say, burn down the mansion. Should not be a leader who will say, we will search from door to door. But the young man is pushing. So Georgia is just a godsend. So I think with that kind of spirit, he can make a very better leadership in Liberia.
What will you give? What will you want for him in the first 100 days for him to first tackle in Liberia? Because we are here now, we may not be too much into Liberia, but the people in Liberia, as we see, the currency rate is high now. It's about 125 to 130 for a dollar. Gas price is going up. Even down to the water they used to buy for 5 cents is going up. So things are not really easy. In the first 100 days of his presidency, what really you want him to tackle first in Liberia?
In the first 100 days of Weah presidency, one thing he should have, and I know that he will do that because he's someone who I think he's willing to work with whosoever that willing and have a concern is to bring everyone together, be it from different political parties, be it from whether you believe in him that he's capable or not. It should have an inclusive government where he will bring every Liberian on board. And with that strong team, after he had brought in an inclusive government, a table drum, because I believe that there are a lot of division, there are a lot of hatred, there are a lot of divisive that going on personally in Liberia. So if these guys can come together and hold, and not putting their interest first, but putting Liberia first and holding on together, they can make a better team. That is the first thing that George we need to do. You should have a government of inclusion. Then and within the same vein, be able to move into this rural area. Government inclusion should not be just only Morovia, but it should also create that kind of system of government that will have the chief, that will
Your
have the
hands in
head.
front of the camera. You got
Oh,
it?
okay.
Yeah, okay. Go ahead.
That okay. Sorry about that.
Sorry.
So once he had the kind of system established, like government of inclusion, bringing everyone on board, which I know he would do. Now people are saying that, oh, why should Georgia accept heading? Why he should accept this? Now, with all the wickedness that we do, God will never refuse us, no matter how terrible we will be. That what made God to be God. And so such a man with this kind of spirit, I guess, if he intervene after he is elected as president, if he still continue with the kind of spirit, the kind of humble spirit, bringing Liberians together and uniting the nation, will have a very strong leadership from Ambassador Weah.
You've been listening to Alfonso Dakla. That's the name, right? Dakla?
Yeah.
Alfonso Dakla, he's here. He's just a guest for 5 minutes because the show is already over, but he tried to come in and express some kind words about the CDC party. So we would like for you to please give your closing remark and say good night to our listeners. Please take a minute.
Yeah, I just want to demolish all the sedition. I'm not a CD. I'm not from the CDC camp. But with the following of the electoral process, I have given my support to the CDC, and I want to encourage all the citizens that all those negative things that are said about CDC, I strongly believe that within the CDC camp they have evil good people. Other party they got evil people, they got good people. Even the devil said came from heaven. That showed that there was a wicked person in heaven. But I want to admonish the good people who have the vision within the CDC camp, the leaders that people are looking up to. Let them preach the message of peace. Let them keep encouraging all the citizens. Let them not give up. They should not be about what is happening, because there will be testing time before you get any good thing. You have to go through some testing time. I want to encourage all those veterans, all those strong or participants of the CDC party, to encourage all our boys, the young boys, the ones they are good people, and we encourage them. Whether they smoke, whether they drink, they are all Liberians. Let's keep encouraging them so that we can hold on to our peace and wait for the runoff so that we can go and elect ourselves by the ballot box, and not any other means, but let the people go within it and vote and elect whosoever they want.
So Munya, CDC Munya.
Munya.
Hey, my man.
Yeah, you are welcome, my brother.
All right. Guys, this is it. Mama Thursday coming. You are my guest. So make sure you take my invite. I'm trying to see if I can bring in another invite. Let me see if I can bring in you, my brother. Let's see. 1, 2, 3. Hey, guys. It's good. Joshua Howard, how are you?
Well, I'm doing good. And you?
Oh, thank God. Are you a sedition or what?
100% sedition.
Oh man, 900 plus. All right, I can host you for 5 minutes because the show is already over. I'm about to go to bed after work tomorrow, but I can host you for 5 minutes. Let me just hear what you got to say about CDC. Well, can you please introduce yourself to our listeners out there, please, and tell us where
Anyways,
you live in America? You don't have to go
okay,
too much. Just give us your name and where you live.
anyway, speaking, I'm Joshua Howard, a born partisan of CDC and a strong supporter of Joria. Again, I live in North Dakota, Fargo, USA.
Okay, my brother,
Okay.
welcome to the show. And as time goes on, I can host you for at least entire show so that we can hear from you. But what brought you to CDC? What on CDC that you like? You have multiple parties in Liberia, but you just chose to be a seditious. Why?
Number one is that people always, classify us to be like people who don't know book.
Zogo.
People, yeah, Zogo. People classify us to be one who don't have brain. And even when I was back in 2005, my voting card was seized by my parent to not vote for CDC. But I told them that I'm a seditious and I was able to get my card and I voted George Weah my choice. But again, I believe strongly that with George Weah, our country can go forward. Because reconciliation should be the first goal for our country. And the youth is the first priority in every country. If you can bring closer the youth, trust me, you always succeed in everything you do. Even the great America we're in today,
Go ahead. Go ahead.
we found children to learn, go to school. But our people are there using the money to come abroad to send their children to good hospital here, good school, who they influence by getting a gun to kill each other, calling a Zogo, and not bringing them together. And when Joria got in the race, he was one of the person that admitted the fact, well, I'm a high school graduate, because of this, because of that, I struggle with this, and he had a man concept that he struggled and he can be able to carry the country forward. People that lived that left long time ago and have a lot of mind concept to destroy our country, and they did, and they came today to be leader for 12 years to make people suffer, and now they come back to us to tell us that we should give them another more year. I look at it to be real, like when you are looking at yourself and kidding yourself. You have the means to survive, but you still going to where to say, yeah, I'll go the old direction. We see this year, we had.
There's a guy here called James Kone. I have been following this George Weah man from my small boy time. He has a very unique and humble character. What do you say about that?
What he's saying is true. Like I was much smaller during the time George Weah came out. So for he's saying, I think at the time, but I really got to know the George Weah man from 2003. It's time I got open and started to know him good. And George Weah from the day, even where I live, where they had the old time of fee, when George Weah entered that community, you see the youth around him. They may have the spirit of humor, they may have the spirit of humanitarian. So let we all join with him. We saw the late Samake do. We can make an example of Samake do. He came in power. Of course, later he hired on default, and later something go on different, and he went the other way. But Samake do was not educated, and he was fast in picking up, according to history or whatsoever. And at the time, Samake do got in power. Our see and what people show us, and the stadium and thing we enjoying, the ministry and thing he was building, and where our current president came and renovated. These are examples and things that we see that men who are not educated, men who not went fine education, he was able to do. And the people who have the master degree, who came in politics and then start to preach on educated and educated people, these are people. You come into power and you know you're educated.
Like for instance, you just come in. I mean, I don't know when you came. You said 2005. You came in this country, right?
Yeah, no, 2000. I came to the country 2014.
2014. So you're almost like you just came. But let me ask you, if George Weah happened to become a leader of Liberia, our country, our beloved country, what would you want him to tackle first that really in the interest of
Talking about reconciliation and which of course he already started. He has to bring the people together. Whether you educated, you're not educated. Whether you are man or you are gay, you are crown. And I enjoy George. We are the educated people being in power. Johnson Sadiki in power should lack of all of these things they may are targeting in campaign. For Jowea to, when it came to, I really respect Jowea for, and up to now, I will tell anybody, for Jowea to look at Joa Howard Taylor and bring her closer and make her to be VP. And it was a great step he took. It was a great step of reconciliation. One. Jowea want to become president of Liberia. Everybody, oh, Taylor won't kill Jowea, they won't kill Jowea. But there's some things that they both used to argue on, and Jowea used to tell he Taylor. But sometimes you people, when you're around, you will not know. But people who been around, they know what Jowea and Taylor to pass through. Jowea look at Jowea Taylor, send her to the late Samuel K. West. Next door. Say, take these things, go there to her, tell her that we need her on board for our campaigning. We need her on board for advances. We need her on board. Men who don't know book, men who way down, that stamp is a great stamp. That alone shows that when he get into power tomorrow, and whosoever that is coming around, he have to prop him up. There will be great progress. There will be a great result we're going to get from him. Because since she lose her husband somewhere during the war, there have been no leader to come and do such a thing. But if you can look at Charles Taylor West, say go to the woman, let recognize her, let identify with her, let make sure we look at her to be somebody who was a former leader of wealth within the country. That was a great step he took.
Judge Weah says he's going to bring free education and he will pay YF. How do you think he's going to go about this?
Common sense. Like meaning, I would like for him to prioritize mostly on the government school, because private school you can do sometimes get some policy that they bring down school fees, make everything go run the right way. But meaning, when it comes to government school, he will be able to work on to build more government schools, renovate more government schools, and then make sure step on them that, oh yeah, this is what we want to be done here, and make sure that the government school be enough before they can do such. Because if there is no government school, the private part of government school, I don't think you'll be able to carry on such a tax. Because individual build his schools, spend a lot of money, you can just go that way only.
All right, at least you've been here 5 minutes. What would be your last statement to your Liberian brothers and sisters who are in Liberia, who are watching us here? What some of the good words will you encourage them to be a sedition or to vote for CDC?
One of the things I want to say to every one of us, we just have to keep our country in prayer. We have to stand alone, be united. United we stand, divided we fall. Liberia is the only thing we have. Liberia is the only country that we can run. Anytime there is any trouble, they will know how to handle out there than other country. So we should focus to carry our country forward. We should be to a process, and everything should be on the right path. Vote at your choice and vote the right leaders that will be able to carry your country forward as a sedition. I tell all my sedition brothers that they should stand strong. They should keep pushing, whether in the village, whether in the town, whether in the hole. We are waiting. When I over the river, we carry kingdom. When I on the sea, we carry speedboat, we carry ship to campaign. When in the air, we already got a chopper. Strongly, and make sure we electing, like he'll be elected, not selection. Like everything will go on smoothly, that we'll be able to perform our tasks and go correctly. And we pray for him that God give him wisdom, give him long life, that he will succeed in everything he do. Let God bless him in endeavor. And God bless our country, Liberia. So
what is the motto? Say it before you leave. Munya, Munya, Sao.
Munya, CDC Munya. Jaja, Jaja, man,
Ja,
Jaja,
ja, ja,
brother,
ja.
brother, brother, man,
Brother,
brother.
brother.
Oh,
Oh.
hey.
Yeah. All right, my brother. Thank you so
Okay,
much. Thank you for
okay,
stopping by.
okay.
Okay, guys, it's all about CDC. This is part of CDC campaign in the diaspora. We're about to leave. Let me see who is here to invite. Patrick here. Let me see if I can bring Patrick here. Patrick, there's an invite coming for you. Let me see if you can come in. Then I can give you 5 minutes before leaving. Patrick, you the only one now. You will be the last. But an entire generation is lost, including him. What do we need to advise? Okay, Patrick, I hear what you're saying. CDC, oh yeah, Fatmata Sumuwat. Wow, that's a strong last name. Sumuwat. Fatmata Sumuwat is watching. CDC, oh yeah. Come on, Fred. My man, let me see. Patrick, all you have to do, Patrick, put your phone and um the screen, put the screen like you're watching the movie, and you will see the invite in the bottom right hand corner. George Weah is going to be leader that will be accessible. Yes. Thank you, Valenim. Damn, what is that? Good job. All right, thank you. Thank you guys for hanging around. We're about to close this. I just want to bring in Patrick Chia, Mr. Chia. Let's see what he got to say for 5 minutes. Put your phone horizontally and then, or like the way you watch a movie. And then you will see the invite on the right hand corner. I don't know if you have one of the latest phone or one of the up. Oh man, Patrick is here. What? Hey, I hope you have. Are you in Liberia, Patrick?
Yeah, I'm here, sir.
You are in Liberia?
No, I'm in Massachusetts.
Damn, but why the place so dark like you in Liberia?
I'm in Massachusetts trying to hide myself from those guys praising CDC, but they're not answering question that actually that Liberia need today.
Are you a
I
citizen?
I I I have not formally joined CDC because I've been here for long, but I have followed George Weah all my life. I'm 47 years old, and I started following George Weah saying he was playing soccer, saying he left, went to Cameroon, from Cameroon went to France, and then to Italy, and then he started playing for all the Monaco and stuff. That's when I started following him.
Okay,
I
I can host you for 5 minutes, but I just want you to introduce yourself. I know your name is Patrick Chia, but you calling from Massachusetts, where Boston, Massachusetts, or where Massachusetts?
Yeah, Boston, Massachusetts.
Boston,
Um,
Massachusetts.
yes, I've been in Massachusetts for the past 20 years.
Oh man, you just like me. I've been in New York for the past 30 years.
Yeah, so and I
But
live my
I don't
life.
know. I had my caller, my people who watching, they can see your face, and I don't know. You driving? You coming from work?
Yes, coming from where on my way home. I'm almost home though, but I just want to express my feeling a little bit and
Go
try
ahead.
to.
I give you some time. Go ahead. Say any good thing you want to say about CDC. You say something bad, I'm going to drop you off.
Uh, no. I like Josh Weah. Josh Weah is my man. You know, when I was little, Helen Sirleaf wanted to be president. All day wanted to be president. She came there. She disappointed us. Actually, we nominated her here from Boston. She came to
Mm.
Boston, and that's where she started the whole thing. And I told the
Why don't
people,
you put a light on in the car so we can see your face?
the guy still want to see my face.
No, but we
Uh,
need to see your face. You are a handsome young man. And hey, now we can see your face. Thank you so
yeah.
much. Go ahead.
So we got problem. Liberia, we got big problem in Liberia than George Weah. George Weah, all George Weah life, that boy loved Liberia. That's one thing I know. I saw every every gold, whatsoever gold that he won abroad. George Weah wanted to bring it to Liberia. He told the white guy, he said, look, I want you guys to give it to me in Liberia. Everything they wanted to give it, they wanted to give him in the white people country. He said, no, I don't care how Monrovia was dirty. I was there at the time. I don't care how bad. You walk in the street of Monrovia, the rain and the mud. George Weah he kept telling the white people, say, I want you guys give me my trophy in my home country, Monrovia. And he would bring the white people, the journalists, he would bring them there. We were chasing down the street, George Weah, George Weah. But that's not the problem. The problem here is corruption is our number one problem. Liberia got money. If you look at the government today, they're all making all the big money. But yet and still, there are no streets. There are no, electricity. The children, this entire generation, what I said that this entire generation is a lost generation. Who's going to bring that up? Suppose George Weah and all the other little people leave. Who's going to be president tomorrow after these people? Our eyes need to open. We need roads. The corruption so bad that everybody trying to eat. I hope George Weah will listen to some of these things and don't bring some of these people who are about their pocket. Put the country first. He put the country first and let everybody else put the country first. Clean house. Instead of minister making $50,000, he got driver. In this country. You've been here 30 years. Have you seen a senator here? The U.S. government buying senator a car? Have you seen government officials here buying government? They all buy their own car. They all hire their own driver. They all rent.
You're so right about that. I think Liberian Congress, how you call them, House of Representatives, make more money than the Congress here.
Yes, still they got house, but they got people to wash their clothes. Those things have to stop. We have to. George Weah love that country, but that's the only difficulty I think he's gonna have to deal with the people, because in order to clean house, he have to say no. Gentlemen, he have to set an example.
The Tanzania president did that, though.
Yes, but he did that because that's what I'm saying. George Weah can do it, but he has to be strong.
Very strong. Very strong.
My entire life, I'm 47. My father died at age 52. I'm Grable. I'm from Grand Cru. My father entire life, there no fitting road from over to Grand Cru. Then my entire life, my 47 years of life, no fitting road, the same road from Moreover to Grand Cru still. Who's gonna do that? The money is there, but everybody just focus on a little, their pocket, building big houses. Look at how can you build a decent house and there's no even zoning right in front of your house? The man go and build, a zinc round. You eating, hey man, it's so pathetic, man. I hope George will succeed, but I hope some of these things will be his first priority. Unification, he's already working on it, but cleaning house is the major thing. To get our money to be focused, to put our money to better use. Schools, hospitals. We need schools, we need hospitals, there are three major things. The only way Liberia will improve, if your mother, I don't know whether your mother still living, if your mother can come from a village, they are fools. Our parents are picking bitter ball pepper on the farm. And it's now to take that pepper to the market and buy salt, buy a bag of salt and bring it home to their children. And they cannot get car. All day that pepper sit down in the farm and get rotten because no road, because no car. And she cannot get out pepper to the market, buy salt for her son, or buy color for her son to bring it for her son. There will be nothing improving in Liberia. That's the only way, my brother. That's the only way. And it's so bad. George Weah he coming to an issue. He coming to a bigger elephant than he thinks.
I know.
It's so big. Yeah.
So what do you really want him to tackle first in his first 100 days?
Well, the thing I want to tackle first is like I just said, all those guys are making, buying cars and making all the people money control first. money control first. Liberia got money. Let control the salary. Let's do everything according to the way we see it. We all come here, learn, and we go back home, and then we turn around. It shouldn't be like that. Look, this generation needs school, education. Education roles and controlling the entire infrastructure. I mean, entire monetary, thing in Liberia. Like we got, oh man, look, it's a long list, but the one he can do first. And he should not listen to, let him carry his head. He should not listen to this other person coming, oh, minister this, minister. No. Let him set his agenda straight. Don't listen to nobody. Clean house and put our money into real rural development. We need real development in Liberia so that people can move freely. Once people start moving freely, government corrupt, we ain't got time for that. Once that old lady can bring her paper from the farm to the market, buy saw and go back home, she will not have time for that government. Once her son going to school, she will not have time for that government. And those are kind of things we need to tackle.
Okay, thank you so much. I wish you to be careful driving because you pay more attention on the camera, and I pray God for you at least,
No,
So
no. I pull over. Actually,
all right. Let me just let you say your final word for the brothers of Liberia. The people of Liberia. All you can say for us to encourage us go through this process until we get the right person elected.
Well, I pray for my brother. I pray for George Weah. I live his life. I love Weah. This boy, beside playing soccer, he just got a heart. He got a heart for Liberia. First of all, he got a heart for Liberia. And then he got a heart for human being. I just hope that he succeed to be president. And let we all look at him and see what he can do. And let God give him the best people, surround him with the best people, so that the development he want to bring in Liberia. No president had brought any development in Liberia. The only president that wanted to do it was Doe, that in our lifetime. Doe was the only guy that was coming trying to build road. Look at that time, look at that time, where everybody going. Everybody hang up Broad Street. Everybody, the way the traffic is so bad because everybody heading toward Broad Street. There's no other road leading from Broad Street that would, distribute traffic. All the old cars were taken from Okenem, Liberia. Everybody Broad Street. Everybody Broad Street. Everybody Broad Street. Now, but some
Broad Street is our Broadway now. What do you think?
I know some of us want to take our friends from here. Say, look, somebody white guy, let's go home, man. Let's go eat some good food. Let's go see some, let's go have some free life. But you take them there, then right on Broad Street, you got, when last our sewer have been clean? I'm 47 years old. I live on Broad Street. Broad Street has never been paved one day. Our sewer system, I've never been beside the Chinese people coming out and putting Chinese stuff in place.
Okay, my brother. At least you are a true seditian. At least you saw a sedition show and you make sure you got in and at least have your say. So we appreciate you being here with us tonight. And this is a program that comes on twice a week. And if you want to join us, you will see us. You can follow us every time. We are always here until after the election. Thank you so much.
Okay, my brother. Thank you very much, too. And I hope CDC win. I wish CDC lock all the way, and I hope we all live to see George. Presidency, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you. All right, let me get this caller here. This is Van DJ. When you get here, I'm sending you invite Van. All you have to do, lay your phone horizontally and then connecting. Van is connecting. Exactly what you got to do. Okay, take your finger off. What's up,
Hello, Van? Hello, brother.
Hi, Van. How you doing? Van, right?
I'm great. Yeah, DJ Van DJ.
DJ Van. Okay, yeah, bro. DJ, you're not mixing here now. I beg you. You're not mixing here. Are you a seditian? Are you a seditian or what?
I'm a born advocate of the CDC.
Okay, you are the right people. You are one of those that You are one of those. I'm going to hang out with you for at least 5 minutes
And
to have your
I
say.
wanna do that gave the standard bearer a pair of football boots for him to play against Mete Barrow, for him to take away him to Cameroon.
Oh, that time you were playing for IE.
No, that time my uncle was having the store, the sporting store called the Afro Sport.
On Kerry Street?
My late uncle used to be Samuel A. Brunet.
The store was on Kerry Street, right?
Yeah, on Broad Street, Benson Street.
Benson Street. Where are you calling us from?
Me, I'm calling you from China.
China? Where in China?
Beijing.
Beijing. Oh, over there now is what time is it over there? In the morning or in the afternoon?
Oh, it's going to 12 o'clock.
12 o'clock. Okay, what you got to tell us, man? I know the process is going on. The ruling came out today, but your camera is not steady. I want to hang out with you for at least 5 minutes before I let you go.
Oh, yeah, sure. You're welcome, sir.
Why is Beijing anyway?
Oh, Beijing is so great now. The place is we are in winter.
How is
we are in winter now.
How is the Liberian community?
Oh, the Liberian community here is doing great. Everyone is trying to meet up with